Chapter 1906. Rumble. The surroundings were filled with mysterious light. The void was distorted, and chaotic mist rose. This void passage was extremely mysterious. It traversed hundreds of millions of miles of the void, as if it led to an unknown world. When Ling Xiao and the others stepped out of the void passage with Master Jiao, a bright light flashed before their eyes. An ancient and vast aura filled the air. They appeared in an ancient valley. There were a few towering mountains around them. They were majestic, ancient, and mysterious. They were hidden in the clouds, and blazing divine light rose from them. In front of Ling Xiao and the others, there was a 7-story glazed pagoda. It was glowing and mist rose. It was magnificent. Although the 7-story glazed pagoda was only a few hundred feet tall, Ling Xiao and the others felt that it was not any smaller than the surrounding mountains. It was even more ancient and majestic. There was a golden plaque on top of the 7-story glazed pagoda. 3 ancient words were carved on it. Alchemy Library. So, this is the Alchemy Library. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. The Alchemy Library gave him a mysterious feeling. It was like an extremely powerful holy treasure. The holy aura filled the air, and it made people's hearts palpitate. At the entrance of the Alchemy Library, 2 white-haired elders sat cross-legged. One was wearing a white robe, and the other was wearing a black robe. One was as hot as the sun, and the other was as cold as ice. The aura of the 2 elders was unfathomable. They were both sages. Other than Xiao Rui and a few disciples of Alchemy Seal Mountain, Zhao Ritian, Huang Xuanzong, and the others were shocked. There were 2 sages. It was obvious that the Alchemy Library was extraordinary. When the 2 elders sensed Master Jiao's aura, they slowly opened their eyes. Their eyes were deep and filled with the vicissitudes of life. They immediately stood up and cupped their fists towards Master Jiao. Senior Brother Jiao, are these people the geniuses of this grand alchemy competition? Master Jiao nodded and said, "That's right. Junior Brother He, Junior Brother Bai, the top 10 in the grand alchemy competition. Other than Lu Wenlong and Zhuo Bufan, the other 8 are all here. I will bring them into the Alchemy Library to feel the origin of alchemy." Zhuo Bufan was still unconscious. Master Jiao was ready to let him enter the Alchemy Library with Lu Wenlong. No problem. Within the Alchemy Compendium Pavilion, other than the 7th level, they could freely view the other 6 levels. However, each person could only choose 1 pill formula from the 6th level. You have 1 month's time. After 1 month, you will be teleported out of the Alchemy Library. The 2 old men looked at Ling Xiao and the others and said slowly, "Junior Brother He, Junior Brother Bai, Zhao Ritian is the alchemy champion this time. He is qualified to enter the 7th level." Master Wine pointed at Ling Xiao. "What? Isn't the Pill Dao champion this time Zhuo Bufan?" The black-robed old man and the black-robed old man also revealed a trace of surprise in their eyes. They could not help but take a deep look at Ling Xiao. "That's right. The Alchemy Dao champion this time is him." Master Wine nodded and said, "All right. He has the qualifications to enter the 7th floor." The black-robed old man and the white-robed old man suppressed the shock in their eyes and opened the door of the Alchemy Library. Rumble. The door of the Alchemy Library opened. Mist filled the air and light spewed out. Streaks of mysterious Taoist rhymes were emitted from within. Under the jealous and envious gazes of the crowd, Ling Xiao walked into the Alchemy Library. Following him were Zhao Ritian, Xiao Ru, Huang Xuanzong, and the others. Try to stay on the 7th level for as long as possible. It will be beneficial for you. Before Ling Xiao entered the Alchemy Library, Master Wine's voice was transmitted into Ling Xiao's mind. The 7th level? Ling Xiao could not help but be moved. Could it be that there was a secret on the 7th level? "Ling Xiao, how about you sell me your bone-chilling flame? As long as you're willing, I can use sage treasures or divine pills to exchange for it." Zhao Ritian suddenly approached Ling Xiao and transmitted his voice. Ling Xiao glanced at Zhao Ritian and said, "Sage treasures? Do you think your sage treasures are comparable to my flipping sky seal? As for divine pills, forget about ordinary divine pills. If you can take out a grade 9 divine pill, perhaps I can consider it." "Grade 9 divine pill?" Why don't you just rob me? Zhao Ritian said angrily. A grade 9 divine pill was a supreme treasure that even sage kings would fight for. Although it might not be as precious as the origin source flame, it was too rare. If a grade 9 divine pill was used to exchange for the origin source flame, there would definitely be people who would be willing to do so. Then there's no need to talk about it. Zhao Ritian, don't forget about our bet. When we leave the alchemy library, remember to use your supreme emperor weapon to help me refine pills. Ling Xiao said with a smile. Bastard. Zhao Ritian said angrily and gritted his teeth. As soon as the bet was mentioned, Zhao Ritian felt his forehead cramping. This time, he thought that he would definitely win. He did not expect to lose to Ling Xiao in the end. Helping Ling Xiao refine pills was nothing. However, the bet this time made him extremely depressed. Looking at Zhao Ritian's furious yet helpless expression, Ling Xiao's lips curled into a smile. Then, he walked into the depths of the alchemy library. The first level of the alchemy library was about the most basic knowledge of alchemy. Most of it was about the refinement of divine pills and the principles of alchemy. Ling Xiao roughly looked at it and realized that it was useless to him. He then walked up to the second level. The knowledge of alchemy on the second level was much more profound. It was basically about the sage-to-be divine pills. However, it was still not attractive to Ling Xiao. They're heading to the sixth level? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He realized that Xiao Rui was leading Huang Xuanzong and the others to the sixth level without hesitation. They did not even look at the first few levels. The sixth level is all about alchemy recipes. Could there be something else? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat and he immediately quickened his pace. The third level of the alchemy library involved the application of many principles of alchemy. It involved the origin of alchemy and the refinement of divine pills. Most of it was the cultivation experience of the predecessors of Alchemy's Seal Mountain. There were also various alchemy classics collected by Alchemy's Seal Mountain. Including the fourth and fifth levels, they were also incomparably profound alchemy classics. Ling Xiao only skimmed through them roughly and felt that the records in those classics were incomparably profound. They would be of great use to a real alchemy saint. I'd like to see what's on the sixth level. Ling Xiao thought in his heart. His eyes revealed a trace of brilliance. He temporarily suppressed his curiosity about those alchemy classics and ascended to the sixth level. The layout of the sixth level was completely different from the previous 5 levels. Within the sixth level, a series of resplendent balls of light floated in the void. They looked extremely dazzling, just like the stars in the sky. God knows how many thousands of these balls of light there were. Among those light clusters, there was an incomparably huge golden light cluster. It was like a blazing sun, exuding a mysterious and vast fluctuation. It floated in the center of all the light clusters. Xiao Rui, Huang Xuanzong, and the others were standing in front of that light cluster at this moment. Their faces were full of excitement and anticipation. Chapter 1907. The golden ball of light was like a blazing sun. It emitted a dazzling radiance and a mysterious Taoist rhyme. Xiao Rui, Huang Xuanzong, and the rest were sitting in front of the golden ball of light with their eyes closed. They were emitting a mysterious aura as though they were in a state of enlightenment. It was as though they were trying to comprehend something from the ball of light. What's this? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a golden radiance as he slowly approached the ball of light. He could see that there were mysterious runes in the ball of light that seemed to contain the truth of the great Tao. In the middle of the ball of light, there was a golden fruit the size of a fist. It was hidden between reality and illusion. It was very mysterious. It's a Tao fruit? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. He just realized that the golden fruit in the ball of light was a sage's Tao fruit. The mysterious Taoist rhyme contained the truth of the alchemy Tao. This was a Tao fruit left behind by an alchemy saint. The Tao fruit was formed from the great Tao origin. If a sage-to-be wanted to become a sage, he would have to comprehend a great Tao origin and condense it into a Tao fruit to become a true sage. However, what surprised Ling Xiao was that the Tao fruit was only the great Tao origin of a sage. For an existence like Pill Talisman Mountain that was not weaker than a saint ground, sages were not rare. There should even be great sage-level experts. Why would Xiao Rui and the rest place so much importance on a Dao fruit from an alchemy saint? Do you know what's going on? Ling Xiao asked when he saw Zhao Ritian standing in front of the Dao fruit. Of course I know. You don't know that this is an alchemy saint's Dao fruit? Zhao Ritian looked at Ling Xiao in surprise. I know that this is an alchemy saint's Dao fruit. But why would they place so much importance on it? Ling Xiao said snappily. You don't know, right? Hee, this isn't an ordinary alchemy saint's Dao fruit. If I'm not wrong, this alchemy saint's Dao fruit contains a trace of the great emperor's origin. Zhao Ritian said proudly to Ling Xiao. Great emperor's origin? Ling Xiao's body shook. The great emperor's source was the legendary power of a supreme great emperor. How could it appear in an alchemy saint's fruit? Ling Xiao could not help but activate the flipping sky seal. The extreme emperor's aura in the flipping sky seal flashed slightly. The alchemy saint's Dao fruit in front of him also emitted a strange light. Ling Xiao immediately understood. At this moment, the alchemy saint Tao fruit indeed contained the great emperor's origin. Otherwise, the extreme emperor's might in the cyclic sky seal would not have formed a connection with the alchemy saint Tao fruit. Ling Xiao understood that Zhao Ritian must have activated the Yen Emperor Cauldron to sense the existence of the great emperor's origin. Hee, that trace of great emperor's origin is good stuff. If you could refine a trace of the great emperor's origin, it would be enough for you to break through to the 9th Revolution half-saint realm. How about it? Are you interested? How about we snatch this alchemy sage Dao fruit? Zhao Ritian transmitted his voice. His voice was filled with eagerness. Snatch this alchemy saint Dao fruit? No problem. If you're not afraid of being hunted down by the Pill Talisman Mountain, you can go ahead and rob them. Ling Xiao glanced at him and said, the alchemy library was located in the Alchemy Talisman Mountain. It must be one of the core forbidden grounds of the Alchemy Talisman Mountain. Snatching the alchemy saint Tao fruit was like eating arsenic for an old man who was tired of living. It's just 2 sages. They can't stop me, Zhao Ritian. Zhao Ritian laughed proudly. I know you have an extreme emperor weapon. However, with your current cultivation, I'm afraid you can only fight alone, right? Even if you can kill the black-robed sage and the white-robed sage, are you sure you can escape the pursuit of the other sages of the Alchemy Talisman Mountain? Ling Xiao glared at Zhao Ritian and warned him. He was afraid that Zhao Ritian would really run away after snatching the alchemy saint Tao fruit. It's just a trace of the great emperor's origin. It's not worth my risk. If I'm not wrong, that trace of the great emperor's origin could be the alchemy emperor's origin. It contains the secrets of the alchemy Dao. You can try it out. It should be beneficial to you. Zhao Ritian snorted coldly. He looked at the alchemy saint Tao fruit in front of him reluctantly. Then, he turned his head away and walked towards the light that contained the pill formula. The alchemy emperor's origin? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. He had heard that the alchemy emperor was the ruler of the alchemy realm. He was an ancient antique that had survived from the primordial era until now. He was extremely mysterious as he had survived several great calamities. There were countless ancient and mysterious pills in the alchemy realm. Those pills could even transform into a human form to cultivate. It was a sacred place for countless pills. Legend had it that the alchemy saint pills that were refined had powerful spirituality. If they managed to escape, they would escape into the alchemy realm. Then, the alchemy emperor would bestow upon them supreme fortune and transform them into a human. It could be said that the alchemy emperor held the ultimate secrets of the alchemy Dao. Ling Xiao would believe it if the alchemy saint Tao fruit contained the alchemy emperor's origin. However, most of the alchemy saints might not have seen an alchemy saint in their entire lives. What was so special about this alchemy saint Tao fruit that it contained a trace of the alchemy emperor's origin? Ling Xiao had some doubts in his heart. He simply sat down with his legs crossed to see if he could comprehend anything from this alchemy saint Tao fruit. Boom! When Ling Xiao's primordial spirit spread out and slowly probed towards the alchemy saint Tao fruit, He felt a vast and mysterious aura gushing out. His primordial spirit seemed to have entered an extremely mysterious world. It was a world formed by flames and pills. Endless flames rose. Each pill seemed to have its own spirituality and lived on this land. They had actually multiplied into a race just like the human race. Ling Zhao's primordial spirit seemed to have transformed into the heavenly Tao of this world. He began to pay attention to every movement of the pills and flames and comprehended a trace of the alchemy Tao from them. No wonder Xiao Rui and Huang Xuanzong couldn't wait. It turns out that this alchemy Saint Tao fruit has such a magical effect. I'm afraid that even an entry-level alchemist can become an alchemy saint if he meditates here for a long time. Ling Xiao exclaimed in his heart. He could feel the mystery of this world. It was as if the alchemy Tao knowledge was like a torrent that constantly poured into his sea of consciousness and became a part of his memory. However, Ling Xiao had already obtained the inheritance of the Origin Alchemy Saint and the Sun Moon Alchemy Sect. Therefore, he didn't feel anything about the alchemy Tao knowledge. However, he knew that this alchemy Saint Tao fruit was indeed an incredible treasure. Just this alchemy Saint Tao fruit alone was enough to create a powerful alchemy sect. This was the foundation of Alchemy Talisman Mountain. He immediately saw the deepest part of the alchemy Saint Tao fruit. There was a mysterious purple aura floating there. It was like a purple river of stars traversing the sky, emitting an ancient, mysterious, and vast aura. It was just a single strand of purple qi, but it gave Ling Xiao the feeling that it could crush the world. Even 1,000,000,000,000 divine mountains would not be as heavy as this strand of mysterious purple qi. Could this be the Pill Emperor's source? Ling Zhao's heart trembled slightly. Standing in front of the purple galaxy, he was like an ant looking up at a dragon. Naturally, he felt small and insignificant. The mysterious purple aura drifted, and it vaguely transformed into a human figure. His head was the endless sky, and his feet were stepping on the vast river of stars. He emitted an invincible aura that could sweep through the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Ling Xiao felt his blood boil, and his primordial spirit trembled violently. Just sensing a trace of aura made his primordial spirit feel like it was about to collapse. Sensing the instability of Ling Zhao's primordial spirit, the wordless heavenly book trembled slightly. In an instant, it emitted a mysterious light, covering Ling Zhao's primordial spirit. The light from the wordless heavenly book blazed, forming an ancient book shadow outside Ling Zhao's primordial spirit. It seemed to be able to encompass the heavens, and it faintly contended with the strand of purple qi. At the same time, the wordless heavenly book emitted an extremely strong wave, as if it wanted to break free from Ling Zhao's control and fly towards the strand of purple qi, wanting to devour it directly. Ling Xiao had never felt such a strong impulse from the wordless heavenly book. It was as if the strand of purple qi was a supreme delicacy, causing the wordless heavenly book to be unable to hold back. Could it be that the wordless heavenly book can devour this Pill Emperor's source? Ling Zhao's heart skipped a beat, and he could not help but loosen his control over the wordless heavenly book, wanting to let it try. Although Ling Xiao had a good impression of Lu Wenlong, Lu Qingwan, and Master Wine, he did not have a good impression of Pill Talisman Mountain, especially when he heard that Ji Feishuan was beaten into the demon burial abyss by ancestor Yuan Ling. If there was a chance to obtain this Pill Emperor's source, Ling Xiao naturally would not hold back, and he would not have any psychological burden. After the wordless heavenly book received Ling Zhao's permission, it instantly turned into a bright stream of light. A vast and mysterious aura erupted, like a devouring vortex, and rushed towards the strand of purple qi. Boom! The purple galaxy trembled slightly, as if it felt the threat of the wordless heavenly book. In an instant, it shot out billions of beams of divine light. Each beam of divine light contained an aura that could destroy everything. It wanted to completely destroy the wordless heavenly book. Ling Xiao felt his scalp go numb. He felt that each of the billions of divine lights was not weaker than the full blow of a saint. If Ling Xiao faced such a blow, he was afraid that even with the protection of the flipping sky seal, he would die without a doubt. as expected of the great emperor's source. Just a trace of the great emperor's source had the terrifying power to crush a saint. However, the wordless heavenly book was not a saint, nor was it an ordinary saint path. Those blazing divine lights were instantly devoured by the wordless heavenly book, and a vast and mysterious power descended, as if to completely devour the strand of purple chi. Boom! It was as if an ancient great emperor had awakened from a deep sleep. An extreme emperor's aura that made Ling Zhao's hair stand on end spread out, mysterious and vast, as if to destroy everything. However, all the power of the extreme emperor's aura fell on the wordless heavenly book, as if it was careful. Otherwise, the alchemy saint's Tao fruit would not be able to withstand the extreme emperor's aura and would collapse in an instant. "How dare you!" A majestic and mysterious voice rang out from the purple chi. It was extremely terrifying, as if to shatter Ling Zhao's primordial spirit. Rumble! The wordless heavenly book and the pill emperor's source were in a stalemate. Divine lights bloomed between them, fiercely contending with each other. Endless power of law filled the air, drowning everything in the surroundings. Chapter 1909. Could that be the voice of an elixir emperor? Ling Zhao's heart trembled and his eyes were filled with disbelief. An elixir emperor's origin had existed in the elixir saint's Tao fruit for many years. How could it contain the will of an emperor? This sudden change made Ling Zhao extremely shocked. The wordless heavenly book seemed to have met its natural enemy. Although it unleashed a terrifying divine aura in an attempt to break through everything and devour the purple gas, it was met with a strong resistance from the emperor's will. An emperor could not be humiliated. Even if it was just an emperor's origin, it was not something that could be easily shaken. Although the wordless heavenly book was a chaotic treasure that surpassed an extreme Tao emperor weapon when it was at its peak, it was only in a severely injured state and was not even a billionth of its peak state. Therefore, it could not do anything to the emperor's origin. Buzz! The textless heavenly book floated in the air above the purple galaxy. The 108 pages of the book slowly unfolded. The 9-colored light was dazzling, and the chaotic mist rose. There seemed to be a beam of divine light shooting out from each of the 108 pages, converging into one and shooting toward the purple galaxy. The purple galaxy surged and the mysterious figure seemed to be enraged. Just as he was about to launch an attack, his body suddenly trembled. It's the wordless heavenly book? Since it's the person you've chosen, then take this origin source as my greeting gift. The majestic and mysterious voice sounded again. The purple galaxy calmed down in an instant. It was as if it no longer resisted. It turned into a mysterious purple light and flew into the wordless heavenly book. It recognizes the wordless heavenly book. Could it really be the will of an elixir emperor? Ling Zhao's heart trembled. Although that sentence was somewhat inexplicable, it vaguely reminded him of something. The elixir emperor's origin should not have been devoured by the wordless heavenly book so easily. However, because of the wordless heavenly book, the elixir emperor's origin gave up resisting and allowed the wordless heavenly book to devour it. Rumble! The wordless heavenly book shone brightly. The elixir emperor's origin seemed to contain a vast amount of energy. The wordless heavenly book started to emit dazzling rays of light as though it had eaten too much. Even the wordless heavenly book began to emit a mysterious power that surged towards Ling Zhao's body. The energy was extremely pure and vast, just like the energy that Ling Zhao cultivated himself. It contained the extremely vast origin energy of the ways, directly shattering Ling Zhao's already loosened bottleneck in an instant. Ling Zhao felt that the third nirvana tribulation was about to descend. Not good. Ling Zhao's heart skipped a beat, and he hurriedly woke up from his state of comprehension. Ignoring the others, he directly sat down in a corner of the 6th floor. A mysterious formation plate lit up in his hand, and it turned into a powerful formation in an instant, enveloping Ling Zhao. This was the Heaven Concealment Array disc that Ling Zhao had obtained by chance. It could form a Heaven Concealment Array. Although it did not have a strong defensive ability, its concealment ability was extremely strong. Once the heaven concealment array was activated, even a saint would not be able to see through everything within the array. However, Ling Xiao still felt that it was not safe. 2 more holy talismans filled with holy might appeared in his palm. One was the earth prison talisman, and the other was the heaven concealing holy talisman. At the same time, they shattered, forming a mysterious spiritual fog around him. After doing all this, Ling Xiao felt that the energy pouring into his body was getting stronger and stronger. He could no longer suppress it, so he immediately connected to the heart realm and entered the Void Temple. Ling Xiao naturally did not feel at ease breaking through in the alchemy library, so he chose to enter the Void Temple. With his various arrangements, even a saint would not be able to know that he had left the alchemy library and entered the Void Temple. Moreover, fighting was prohibited in the alchemy library. Even if Xiao Rui and Huang Xuanzong had malicious intentions towards him, they would not dare to attack him. In the Time Palace, Ling Xiao exchanged a large amount of holy liquid for 30 times the flow of time. Then, he sat cross-legged in the void and released the suppression on his cultivation. Rumble. Terrifying lightning flashed, and Ling Xiao's body exploded with thunderous sounds. An incomparably dense tribulation chi spread out from his body. The boundless nirvana tribulation instantly erupted. A blazing divine light enveloped Ling Xiao. Outside the alchemy library, the black-robed saint and the white-robed saint opened their eyes at the same time. There was a trace of doubt in their eyes. What is Zhao Ritian doing? How did he set up a formation? Even we can't see what he's doing. The black-robed saint's eyes flashed. I just sensed a trace of a breakthrough fluctuation from his body. Could it be that he wants to undergo the nirvana tribulation in the alchemy library? The white-robed saint pondered for a moment and speculated. Undergoing the nirvana tribulation in the alchemy library? What a joke! This kid is really daring. The black-robed saint's eyes widened. He was not worried about Ling Xiao's life, but he was afraid that Ling Xiao's nirvana tribulation would destroy the treasures in the alchemy library. One had to know that this was the collection of Mount Dan talisman for hundreds of millions of years. All the alchemy classics were here. He should know what he's doing. Let's pay more attention. If the formation he set up is not broken, then so be it. If the formation he set up is broken, then we'll take action. The white-robed saint said slowly. Although he guessed that Ling Xiao was undergoing the nirvana tribulation, he could not stop him. After all, Ling Xiao and the others had a month to comprehend in the alchemy library. As long as Ling Xiao did not destroy the alchemy library, they could not chase him out. They could only place most of their attention on Ling Xiao. Could it be that this guy has broken through? Zhao Ritian was originally looking for the pill formula, but Ling Xiao's actions made him a little confused. Even if he has broken through, he can't surpass you. Don't worry about him. Go look for the pill formula of the Hunyuan Golden Pill. Mount Dan Talisman has obtained the inheritance of the Sun-Moon Elixir sect. It's very likely that they have the pill formula of the Hunyuan Golden Pill. As long as you can get the pill formula of the Hunyuan Golden Pill, it's only a matter of time before you become a sage. The second elder's voice rang in Zhao Ritian's mind. Alright. Zhao Ritian nodded and no longer paid attention to Ling Xiao. Instead, he turned around and continued looking for the pill formula. In the space of the 6th floor, there were tens of thousands of light balls. They represented the tens of thousands of ancient pill formulas in Mount Dan Talisman's collection. Could be said to be as vast as the sea. Moreover, there were many pill formulas that made Zhao Ritian drool. However, for the pill formula of the Hunyuan Golden Pill, he could only accept it. Damn it, I really want to snatch all these pill formulas. Chapter 1910. Rumble. Ling Xiao sat cross-legged in the Time Palace, surrounded by divine light. It was as if a mysterious river of time extended to the end of the world. The Pill Emperor's origin had been devoured by the wordless heavenly book, but the wordless heavenly book seemed to understand the meaning of the last sentence of the Pill Emperor's origin. Although it was extremely eager for the Pill Emperor's origin, it still refined the Pill Emperor's origin and gave half to Ling Xiao. The Pill Emperor's origin was the Pill Emperor's comprehension of the Supreme Heavenly Way. It was the origin energy formed by gathering the fortune of the heavens. It could be said that it contained a trace of the power of the heavenly way. Now that Ling Xiao had devoured the Pill Emperor's origin, it was equivalent to devouring a trace of the power of the heavenly way. What kind of supreme fortune was this? However, even Ling Xiao himself didn't know what had happened to his body. Because the third nirvana tribulation had arrived. Spiderweb-like cracks appeared all over Ling Xiao's body. It was as if he was about to shatter like porcelain. Strands of mysterious tribulation qi, invisible and formless, spread out from his body and enveloped him completely. In the end, his entire body exploded with a loud bang. Ling Xiao's entire body shattered into a resplendent rain of light. His entire body had turned into the tiniest of particles. He seemed extremely mysterious. Although he still maintained his human form, he seemed like he would shatter at any moment. The strands of tribulation qi continued to temper Ling Xiao's body. They contained a mysterious origin energy and slowly integrated into Ling Xiao's body. Chaotic mist pervaded the air. The light formed by Ling Xiao's shattered body was chaotic and mysterious, as if it encompassed the heavens. Buzz. At this moment, a wisp of mysterious purple qi dissipated and unceasingly integrated into that ball of light. That formidable nirvana tribulation was originally very difficult for Ling Xiao to cross. However, at this moment, the nirvana tribulation melted like ice and snow when it came in contact with the purple qi. The tribulation qi slowly integrated into Ling Xiao's body. The strands of purple qi also integrated into Ling Xiao's body, causing his originally shattered body to slowly fuse together in an instant. It was not just his physical body. Ling Xiao's soul, the small world in his body, and the various origins of the great ways that he had comprehended were all shattered. However, as the streaks of purple qi flowed, they merged back together almost instantly. Rumble. Resplendent divine light gushed out as a vast and mysterious power rose up. Ling Xiao's entire body shone with purple light. Chaotic qi permeated the air around him, giving him a mysterious aura. The third nirvana tribulation ended just like that? Ling Xiao was slightly stunned. The third nirvana tribulation came violently and left quickly as well. It was actually much faster than his usual nirvana tribulation. In just a few hours, it was over. Ling Xiao's cultivation had also broken through to the third revolution half-saint realm. Ling Xiao didn't even have the time to check the condition of his body. He only felt a vast and unparalleled force explode, and his entire body actually shattered once again. This is the fourth nirvana tribulation? Ling Xiao was instantly shocked. His eyes were filled with disbelief. He had just crossed the third nirvana tribulation. How could the fourth nirvana tribulation come? This is the power of the Elixir Emperor's origin? Ling Xiao's heart trembled. He finally understood how powerful the Elixir Emperor's origin was. It didn't take much effort for him to break through to the fourth revolution half-saint realm from the third revolution half-saint realm. Rumble. Ling Xiao's entire body was filled with blazing light. Tribulation qi rose up. The fourth nirvana tribulation was even more dangerous. However, as the streaks of purple light flowed, his entire body seemed to be protected by a mysterious force. The fourth nirvana tribulation had ended. Next, the fifth nirvana tribulation broke out. In this way, Ling Xiao refined the power of the Elixir Emperor's origin while crossing the nirvana tribulation. His entire aura became more and more terrifying. An incomparably mysterious change was taking place from the inside out. Ling Xiao's body trembled, and divine light rose. There was an ancient dragon's roar that shook the void, and there was a powerful beast's roar that reverberated in all directions. On his chest, a mysterious dragon's shadow appeared, and at the same time, there was a purple divine sun in his mouth. That was the tribulation seed formed by the indestructible saint technique. The foundation of Ling Xiao's body was the ancestral dragon secret technique. Although he had obtained the 5 secret techniques of the 5 sacred beasts, his body only had the bloodline of the dragon clan. He didn't have the bloodline of the other 4 sacred beasts. Therefore, Ling Xiao mainly cultivated the ancestral dragon secret technique. As for the white tiger secret technique, the true phoenix secret technique, the black tortoise secret technique, and the Qilin secret technique, he only cultivated a few of them. With the cultivation of the ancestral dragon secret technique, Ling Xiao had now reached the complete divine dragon body. However, the gap between it and the final level of the ancestral dragon body was like heaven and earth. Ling Xiao wanted to turn his body into a saint realm expert. However, he knew that relying on the ancestral dragon secret technique alone wouldn't be enough. After all, the reason why it was so difficult to turn one's body into a saint realm expert was that there were only a few people in a macro world who could turn one's body into a saint realm expert. Therefore, Ling Xiao cultivated the indestructible saint technique at the same time. He cultivated the indestructible saint technique to the level of the leakless true body, which made his body even more powerful. However, the ancestral dragon secret technique and the indestructible saint technique were two different techniques after all. Therefore, there was no way to merge them into one. Previously, in the Void Saint world, Ling Xiao had inadvertently comprehended the true meaning of the chaotic body refining technique. Thus, he had begun to merge the ancestral dragon secret technique and the indestructible saint's celestial appearance. However, that was only the beginning. Now, because of the Pill Emperor's origin, the ancestral dragon secret technique and the indestructible saint technique that Ling Xiao cultivated had completely merged into one. They were enveloped by the endless chaos and became a part of Ling Xiao. There was no longer any distinction between the two. Although Ling Xiao's body hadn't been strengthened by much, just the merging of the ancestral dragon secret technique and the indestructible saint's celestial appearance was an unimaginable supreme fortune for Ling Xiao. Rumble. When Ling Xiao's body reformed once again, his body spewed out endless blazing divine light. A powerful force erupted from Ling Xiao's body. Ling Xiao felt as if he could blast open the void in front of him with a single punch. An unprecedented feeling of power surged in his heart. Ling Xiao slowly opened his eyes. 6 Nirvana tribulations, 6th revolution half-saint realm? Ling Xiao muttered to himself. 2 blazing divine lights flashed in his eyes. The void in front of him suddenly trembled. Chapter 1911. Although more than half of the Pill Saint's source had been devoured by the wordless heavenly book, only a small part of it had been sent back to Ling Xiao by the wordless heavenly book. However, this small part had allowed Ling Xiao's cultivation to directly break through to the 6th revolution from the 2nd revolution half-saint realm after crossing 4 Nirvana tribulations. The saint chi in Ling Xiao's body was surging, and the divine light around his body was blazing. His whole body was brimming with power. After crossing 6 Nirvana tribulations, Ling Xiao's vision of the world had become clearer. The 108,000 pores on Ling Xiao's body seemed to be swallowing and spitting out the essence of heaven and earth at any time and place. His whole body was in harmony with the great Tao principle, giving him a mysterious and holy temperament. After his cultivation had broken through to the 6th revolution half-saint realm, Ling Xiao's strength had naturally increased tremendously. However, the most important thing for Ling Xiao was the Pill Saint source. It had allowed his ancestral dragon secret art and the indestructible holy technique to completely fuse together. Ling Xiao's blood had turned purple gold, and it was full of mysterious, noble, dignified and ancient fluctuations. It made his every move contain unfathomable heavenly might. After the fusion of the ancestral dragon secret art and the indestructible holy technique, I can be considered to have truly stepped on the path of the sage body. Although it's still far from the sage body, as long as I continue on this path, my body will become a sage body one day. Ling Xiao thought to himself, and his eyes flashed with a trace of sharpness. This Pill Saint source is really a supreme fortune. It's a pity that it can only be encountered by chance and not sought. Otherwise, I'm afraid I can directly become a sage body with a few more Pill Saint source. Ling Xiao thought to himself. With his original cultivation speed, it would have taken him a few years to break through to the 6th revolution half-saint realm. However, the Pill Saint source had allowed him to break through in an instant. Ling Xiao had never thought that there would be such a fortune in the alchemy pavilion. Only a few days have passed? It should have only been a few hours in the alchemy pavilion, right? Fortunately. Ling Xiao opened his eyes and sensed that only a few days had passed in the flowing time palace. He originally thought that this breakthrough would take at least a month, but he had never thought that it would be so fast. Young lord, you actually broke through to the 6th revolution half-saint realm? Uncle Su couldn't help but be shocked when he saw the changes in Ling Xiao after leaving the Tai Moon Hall. I was lucky enough to obtain an Alchemy Emperor's essence in the Alchemy Library. Ling Xiao didn't hide anything from Uncle Su. Pill Emperor's origin. Young master, you are indeed a person with great luck and good fortune. It was said that the Alchemy Emperor was one of the most ancient great emperors. He had survived the great calamity of an epoch. It was not easy to obtain his Alchemy Emperor source. Even a Sage King realm expert would probably go back and fight for a great emperor's origin. Uncle Su lamented. Perhaps Ling Xiao did not fully understand the importance of the great emperor's source, but Uncle Su knew that it was extremely difficult for a Saint King to take that final step. It was thousands of times more difficult than becoming a saint. Therefore, although there were not many Saint Kings in the divine world, there were still a few of them. As for Emperor Realm experts, they were as rare as phoenix feathers and Qilin horns. The number of Emperor Realm experts in the 12 immortal sanctuaries could be counted with one hand. A great emperor's origin was an extremely important reference for a Saint King. It might be able to help them understand their own path and take that final step. Young lord, you must not tell anyone that you have obtained the Alchemy Emperor's origin. Moreover, you have to hide your cultivation level. You can't let the people of Pill Seal Mountain see through you. Otherwise, you will be in big trouble. Uncle Su looked at Ling Xiao sternly. Uncle Su, don't worry. I know what to do. Moreover, I have the heaven-shrouding secret technique. They won't be able to discover my cultivation. Ling Xiao said with an indifferent smile. A mysterious aura fluctuated around his body. His cultivation of the 6th revolution half-saint was concealed. He still looked like a 2nd revolution half-saint. Since you know, I won't say anything more. Young lord, please be careful. Uncle Su nodded. Thank you, Uncle Su. I'll take my leave first. Ling Xiao nodded with a smile. He then activated his heart realm and left the Great Void Temple, returning to the Alchemy Library. Buzz. With a flash of resplendent light, Ling Xiao appeared on the 6th floor of the Alchemy Library. When he opened his eyes, he immediately carefully inspected the concealment formation disc and the 2 saint talismans he had thrown out. He only relaxed when he discovered that no one had forced their way in. Ling Xiao removed the heaven-concealing disc array and the 2 saint talismans and walked out. Ling Xiao, what are you doing? Why aren't you using your time to comprehend the alchemy saint's Tao fruit or looking for the pill formula? What are you doing? Zhao Ritian's eyes flashed as he saw Ling Xiao walking out of the array. He immediately asked through telepathy. Nothing much. I gained something when I was comprehending the alchemy saint's Tao fruit. That's why I need a quiet space to comprehend it. Have you found the pill formula you need? Ling Xiao said with a smile. Zhao Ritian did not know that the great emperor's origin that he had been thinking about had fallen into Ling Zhao's hands. If he knew, he would not be as relaxed as he was now. You're being so mysterious. You can say that I found it, but it's just an incomplete pill formula. This pill talisman mountain is not that great. They don't even have a complete pill formula. Zhao Ritian said with displeasure. Oh, what pill formula are you looking for? It's incomplete? Zhao Ritian asked curiously. It's fine to tell you. I'm looking for the Hunyuan golden pill formula created by the Hunyuan elixir saint during the Antiquity Age. Zhao Ritian said nonchalantly. The Hunyuan golden pill formula? Ling Zhao's eyes suddenly revealed a strange look. He had obtained the Hunyuan heart pill scripture and it recorded the Hunyuan golden pill formula. Ling Xiao even had a Hunyuan golden pill with him. However, the alchemy library actually had an incomplete pill formula for the Hunyuan golden pill. It seemed like Pill Talisman Mountain had obtained part of the Sun-Moon elixir sect's inheritance. That's right. However, this incomplete pill formula is not very useful. Refining an incomplete Hunyuan golden pill will at most allow me to pass through the nirvana tribulation. It won't help anyone to become a saint. Alright, what pill formula are you looking for? I've already seen all the pill formulas on the 6th level. I'll tell you where it is. Zhao Ritian said regretfully. Finally, he raised his head and looked at Ling Xiao curiously. I'm looking for the pill formula for the eternal creation pill. Have you seen it? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. He did not hide it from Zhao Ritian and told him directly. The pill formula for the eternal creation pill? This is only a tier 6 divine pill. Moreover, the main ingredient, the snow lotus of creation, is almost extinct. It's very difficult to obtain it. Why don't you change it? I see that there are quite a few pill formulas for tier 7, tier 8, and tier 9 divine pills here. Chapter 1912. The eternal creation pill is very useful to me. I've already found the snow lotus of creation. Once we leave the alchemy library, I'll have to trouble you to help me refine the eternal creation pill. As for the other divine pills, I don't have any use for them at the moment. Ling Xiao said with a smile. You want me to refine a tier 6 divine pill for you using an extreme Dao Emperor weapon? You've got a good plan. That's the pill formula for the eternal creation pill. Go and get it. Zhao Ritian said gloomily as he pointed at a green ball of light in front of him. Thank you, Ling Xiao said with a smile. Then he walked over and grabbed the green ball of light in his palm. Eternal creation pill. Ling Xiao's primordial spirit reached out and saw the words on the green ball of light. He knew that he had found the right target and could not help but feel excited. As long as he could refine the eternal creation pill, his 3 senior brothers would be able to recover their cultivation as sages. This was great news for the battle temple. Ling Xiao placed the green ball of light between his eyebrows. Immediately, the pill formula for the regeneration pill was imprinted in his sea of consciousness, including the various spiritual herbs needed, the refining method, the method of condensing the pill, the method of controlling the fire, and so on. It was very detailed. After obtaining the pill formula for the eternal creation pill, Ling Xiao heaved a sigh of relief. He had finally achieved his goal of participating in the alchemy talisman ceremony. Ling Xiao, why don't you go to the 7th level? There should be something good there. Zhao Ritian suddenly came up and whispered to Ling Xiao through telepathy. The 7th level of the alchemy library? I heard that it's the forbidden area of the alchemy talisman mountain. I'm planning to take a look. Why are you so concerned about it? You can't go there. Ling Xiao glanced at Zhao Ritian. Ling Xiao, let's make a deal. Can you bring me to the 7th level to take a look? Zhao Ritian said with a smile. The 7th level? The alchemy talisman pavilion must be under the surveillance of the 2 sages. Moreover, there must be a powerful array set up on the 7th level. How are you going to sneak in? Ling Xiao said snappily. Hee, I have a plan. I have a transformation technique. I'll leave a clone here to cultivate. Then, my real body will attach to your body and follow you to the 7th level. Zhao Ritian said with a smile. Transformation technique? Sure. If you can really deceive the 2 sages and the array formation on the 7th level, I don't mind bringing you to the 7th level. Ling Xiao thought for a moment and nodded. Speaking of which, Ling Xiao's heaven-shrouding secret technique was also a powerful transformation technique. However, Ling Xiao didn't have a deep understanding of transformation techniques and couldn't transform as he wished, so he rarely used it. Ling Xiao was also curious about what kind of transformation technique Zhao Ritian would use. Thank you. Don't worry, after we leave the alchemy book pavilion, I'll help you refine the revival creation pill. Zhao Ritian was overjoyed as he said to Ling Xiao. Rumble. Just like Ling Xiao, Zhao Ritian took out an ancient array disc and formed a powerful array that enveloped him and Ling Xiao. Mist filled the air and runes rose, containing an extremely powerful fluctuation. This is the Tianyi Great Array. Those 2 old fellows definitely can't see through this great array. Zhao Ritian explained to Ling Xiao. Then, with a flash of light, a stream of light appeared in his body and transformed into a body that looked exactly like him. The body then sat down with its legs crossed. As for Zhao Ritian, his body flashed and transformed into a white line. He inserted himself into the clothes on Ling Zhao's arm without making a sound. Even when Ling Zhao's primordial spirit covered him, he didn't notice Zhao Ritian's existence. What a magical transformation technique! What's the name of this transformation technique? If that's the case, I can bring you to the 7th level. Ling Zhao exclaimed in surprise. He was sure that Zhao Ritian's transformation technique wasn't any weaker than his heaven-shrouding secret technique. When Zhao Ritian transformed into a white line, he really did become a white line. It was a transformation of the level of life. It wasn't a simple transformation technique. It was extremely profound. This transformation technique is called the Tianyi 36 transformations. It can transform into anything in the universe. Don't worry, those two old fellows definitely won't notice me. Zhao Ritian's voice was transmitted into Ling Zhao's mind. It was filled with confidence. Tianyi 36 transformations? I've heard of it before. It seems to be a supreme sacred technique from the ancient times. You actually have such an opportunity? Not bad. All right, let's go. Ling Zhao nodded and walked out of Zhao Ritian's Tianyi formation. Then he walked towards the 7th level of the alchemy library. At the entrance of the 7th level of the alchemy library, there was indeed a 7-colored barrier. It was filled with mysterious light and the runes were extremely beautiful. Ling Zhao could feel that it contained an incomparably terrifying power. If he were to force his way in, he would probably trigger a backlash from the barrier. Ling Zhao stood in front of the 7-colored barrier. Then he stretched out a hand and patted the 7-colored barrier. Buzz! The 7-colored barrier trembled slightly. In an instant, a light flashed and a passageway appeared. Zhao Ritian wasn't discovered. Ling Zhao's heart skipped a beat as he walked into the 7th level of the alchemy library. Outside the alchemy library, the black-robed old man's eyes flashed. Why did that guy copy Zhao Ritian and set up a formation? Is he trying to sneak into the 7th level? Impossible! You should know about the Rainbow Huanling formation on the 7th level. Even if he hides in a spatial treasure, he won't be able to enter. I think that guy should be cultivating. Moreover, I can feel that he's still in the formation. The white-robed old man's eyes flashed as he said calmly. That's for the best. However, the 7th level is extremely mysterious. It's a small world. We can't see what's going on inside. We don't know what benefits Zhao Ritian will obtain. The black-robed old man said slowly. That's a place of fortune. Everyone's fortune is different. Their opportunities are different. However, a month's time is still a little short. The white-robed old man said calmly. To be able to defeat Zhuo Bufan, Mount Dan Talisman can't let go of such a peerless genius. I'm sure the Mountain Master already knows about it. When they come out of the alchemy library, let the Mountain Master keep Zhao Ritian in Mount Dan Talisman. The black-robed old man nodded his head. Rumble. After Ling Zhao stepped into the 7th level, a dazzling light flashed before his eyes. Mist filled the air and he seemed to be walking through a mysterious tunnel. Not long after, the light in front of Ling Zhao changed. He took a step forward and arrived in an extremely mysterious space. This is the 7th level of the alchemy library? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he muttered to himself. Ling Zhao was standing on a hillside, and in front of him was a vast expanse of land. There were continuous mountain ranges, towering ancient trees, and blooming exotic flowers and herbs. There were even all kinds of spiritual beasts running on the ground. Ling Zhao did not expect the 7th level of the alchemy library to be a small world. Chapter 1913. Ling Zhao stood on the hillside and looked around. This small world was extremely vast and he couldn't see the end of it. However, it exuded an ancient and mysterious aura. This isn't the real world. Ling Zhao's heart suddenly jolted as his eyes revealed a trace of light. A strange aura fluctuation appeared on his body. His heart realm was activated by Ling Zhao. His eyes seemed to be covered with a layer of 7-colored light. The world in front of him instantly changed. Rumble. The vast land, mountains, and ancient trees all disappeared. In an instant, it turned into a vast flame. The flame was blazing and dazzling as if it wanted to burn everything into ashes. Ling Xiao could feel the scorching aura, but with a thought, the sea of fire in front of him disappeared in an instant. Instead, an ancient primeval forest appeared. It was full of vitality, and there were mysterious flowers and herbs everywhere. The small world in front of him seemed to be able to change according to Ling Xiao's thoughts. It was extremely mysterious. Ling Xiao then understood that the 7th level of the alchemy library wasn't a small world. It was a heart realm that was hidden between reality and illusion. Is this a heart realm condensed from the mixed yuan heart pill scripture? It seems like Mount Dan Talisman has obtained quite a lot of Sun Moon Elixir sex inheritance. Ling Xiao thought to himself. It was difficult for ordinary people to discover that this was a heart realm. Even if they could discover it, they wouldn't be able to make the heart realm change as they wished. Ling Xiao had obtained the mixed yuan elixir saint's inheritance. Therefore, when he activated his heart realm, he discovered that this small world was the heart realm of an almighty expert. Interesting. The 6th level has an alchemy Saint Dao fruit that contains an alchemy emperor's origin. The 7th level is a heart realm. The foundation of Mount Dan Talisman really can't be underestimated. Ling Xiao thought to himself. Rumble. Ling Xiao's powerful heart force spread out and spread towards this small world. Ling Xiao cultivated the Great Void Heart Charm scripture and his heart force was extremely strong. Now that he had obtained the mixed yuan heart pill scripture, he had the inheritance of alchemy Dao and talisman Dao. After verifying each other, Ling Xiao's heart realm became even stronger. Although it hadn't reached the prominent divine realm, it already had the power to interfere with reality to a certain extent. Ling Xiao wanted to find out what secrets were hidden in this small world. After all, the 7th level of Pill Talisman Mountain was a forbidden area of the alchemy library. Even the genius disciples of Pill Talisman Mountain were not qualified to enter. Presumably, it contained very important treasures. Ling Xiao, there's something wrong with this small world. This doesn't seem to be a real small world. Zhao Ritian, who was hiding on Ling Xiao's clothes, did not appear. After all, he was a little guilty of sneaking into the 7th level. Naturally, he became extremely cautious. Moreover, hiding it on Ling Xiao's clothes did not affect his observation of the 7th level. You noticed it too? This should be the heart realm of a powerful expert. Ling Xiao did not hide anything from Zhao Ritian and smiled. Heart realm? Could it be left behind by a heart saint expert? The legendary heart saint can create things out of thin air and kill people with a thought. Their strength is unfathomable. It is very difficult to prove one's Dao heart saint. It is not much easier than achieving the saint physique. Zhao Ritian's eyes lit up as he transmitted his voice to Ling Xiao. You're right. This should be the heart realm of a heart saint. However, even if there were any treasures in the heart realm, they would have been taken by Pill Talisman Mountain long ago. I can't guess what they are trying to do by leaving this heart realm as the 7th level of the alchemy library. Ling Xiao nodded his head. What are their intentions? Isn't this a simple matter? Zhao Ritian smiled proudly. Oh, you know? Ling Xiao asked, a little surprised. Of course I know. Using the heart realm as the 7th level of the alchemy library is both a test and an opportunity. If a disciple of Pill Talisman Mountain has the chance to enter the 7th level and comprehend the heart force, it means that this disciple has the chance to prove his Dao as a pill saint using the heart force. One must know that the Dao of the heart pill is extremely mysterious. Using the heart force to refine pills in the heart realm is countless times faster than refining pills normally. Moreover, the effects are better. The reason why Pill Talisman Mountain left this heart realm behind must be to choose a successor. I guess that the heart realm must contain the origin of the Dao of the heart pill. Let's go and look for it. Perhaps we can obtain some good fortune. Zhao Ritian said confidently. The Dao of the heart pill? We can give it a try. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he nodded his head. The Great Void Heart Talisman scripture should be considered the Dao of the Heart Talisman, while the Mixed Yuan Heart Pill scripture was the Dao of the Heart Pill. Although Ling Xiao had condensed the heart realm and cultivated the Dao of the Heart Pill with half the effort, If he could find the origin of the heart pill hidden here and devour it, it would be greatly beneficial to Ling Xiao's heart realm. This small world might be very vast, but it was not difficult for Ling Xiao. As long as he activated the mixed yuan heart pill scripture, it should be easy for him to find the origin of the heart pill. Ling Xiao leaped up and stepped on the void. His white robe fluttered in the wind as he flew towards the depths of the small world. According to the mixed yuan heart pill scripture, the origin of the heart pill should be in the depths of the small world. Rumble. The changes of the heart realm seemed mysterious and unpredictable. At one moment, it was raging flames. At the next moment, it was raging waves. At the next moment, it was an ancient forest formed by towering ancient trees. At the next moment, it was an endless galaxy. If an ordinary person entered the small world, it would probably take a very long time just to decipher the changes of the heart realm. However, Ling Xiao did not have any concerns. He stood in the void with an extremely calm expression as he looked at the changes of the heart realm below. It was as if he was standing from the perspective of a bystander. He was untainted and could not be affected at all. In the end, Ling Xiao landed on a barren mountain. The barren mountain was only a few hundred feet tall and there was no vegetation. It was all bare rocks that were dark brown in color as if it had been burned by a raging fire. Ling Xiao stood on the barren mountain and felt as if he was standing in the center of the world. In front of Ling Xiao, there was a simple and unadorned stone house. There was a black stone cauldron outside the house. It looked as tall as a person and its stone surface was mottled. It had a sense of vicissitudes of life. Other than the stone house and stone cauldron, there was nothing else on the barren mountain. Could the origin of the heart pill be here? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat as his gaze landed on the stone house and stone cauldron. There was a strange light in his eyes. He could feel that although the stone house and stone cauldron looked very ordinary, they did not seem to be real and did not exist in this void. It was as if they were separated by endless time and space. Ling Xiao reached out his hand, wanting to touch the stone cauldron. Buzz! Chapter 1914. Everything is possible, like a dream or a bubble. Ling Xiao seemed to have thought of a Buddhist scripture as he mumbled to himself. The stone cauldron in front of him looked extremely ordinary as if it was within his reach. However, it also felt like it was on the other side of the world. This was neither a formation nor the power of space. Ling Xiao did not sense any fluctuations in space-time. This was the power of the heart. An Almighty had hidden the stone house and stone cauldron away. Unless he could understand the means of the Almighty, he might be able to break through the power of the heart and touch the stone cauldron. Buzz! A mysterious fluctuation spread out from the stone house and stone cauldron, enveloping Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao could sense that the mysterious ripples contained an incomparably profound truth of alchemy, allowing him to gain many insights. Ling Xiao, could it be that the origin of the heart pill is hidden in the stone house and stone cauldron? Zhao Ritian asked curiously. It's possible. However, it has been sealed by an Almighty using his power of heart. We can only rely on ourselves to understand it. Ling Xiao said slowly. Has it been sealed? Hee, why don't we see if we can break it open by force? Zhao Ritian said eagerly. Don't act rashly. I'm afraid that the 7th level is under the surveillance of the Saint of Mount Pill Talisman. If you dare to come out, you'll be chased out before we can obtain the origin of the heart pill. Let me try first. Ling Xiao stopped Zhao Ritian. He knew what Zhao Ritian was thinking. This guy must be planning to rely on the Supreme Emperor weapon, the Emperor Yen Cauldron, to break the seal on the stone house and stone cauldron by force. All right then. Zhao Ritian nodded his head. Ling Xiao sat down in front of the stone cauldron with his legs crossed. The stone cauldron looked extremely simple. The walls of the cauldron were mottled and exuded an aura of vicissitudes. Originally, there should be runes or drawings on the walls of the cauldron. However, they were now extremely blurry. Ling Xiao sat cross-legged in front of the stone cauldron. His heart was as calm as an ancient well. There was no joy or sorrow. His heart realm appeared around him. Powerful heart force permeated the air as he carefully touched the stone cauldron. Ling Zhao's Great Void Heart Talisman scripture was cultivated to the peak of the 5th level. He was only one step away from the prominent divine stage. However, it was this one-step difference that caused his heart realm to be incomparably illusory. It was formless and formless. Others couldn't sense it at all. Only he could see that it was a world filled with primal chaos that was faintly appearing around him. When Ling Zhao's powerful heart force touched the stone cauldron trembled slightly. Ling Zhao couldn't touch the stone cauldron with his hands, but his heart force could. In order to verify Ling Zhao's thoughts, he began to circulate the power of the Mixed Yuan Heart Dan Sutra, slowly channeling his vast heart force into the stone cauldron. There was no resistance, not even a hint of sluggishness. Ling Zhao's heart force directly entered the stone cauldron. It is indeed of the same origin as the Mixed Yuan Heart Dan Sutra. Ling Zhao understood in his heart. Without any hesitation, the vast amount of heart energy in his heart realm gushed into the stone cauldron at this moment. The stone cauldron trembled slightly, producing the sound of metal and stone. As Ling Zhao channeled his heart force into the stone cauldron trembled more and more violently. Strands of mysterious light shot out from the stone cauldron. Kacha! A crisp sound rang out. The mottled surface of the stone cauldron began to fall off. Resplendent light shot out from within. Mysterious patterns appeared, forming strange runes. Mysterious images appeared on the walls of the stone cauldron. The light from the stone cauldron became more and more dazzling. In the end, the stone cauldron trembled violently. The mottled surface of the stone cauldron completely fell off. In an instant, millions of resplendent rays of golden light shone from it. Strands of golden flames began to burn fiercely. Ling Zhao could sense that the stone cauldron was not a real stone cauldron. Instead, it was an entity condensed from his vast heart force. When Ling Zhao channeled his heart force into the stone cauldron gave off an extremely familiar ripple. Perhaps I can completely devour the stone cauldron, Ling Zhao thought. The stone cauldron was formed from his vast heart force. It came from the same source as the Mixed Yuan Heart Pill scripture. Ling Zhao did not even need to refine it. He could directly fuse it into his heart realm. Refining this stone cauldron might allow his heart force to break through to the prominent domain stage even faster. However, the only thing he needed to worry about right now was Mount Pill Talisman. Ling Zhao was certain that there was a saint observing his every move. If he refined the stone cauldron, he would definitely be discovered by Mount Pill Talisman. I can't care about that anymore. This is a great opportunity. If I don't take it, I will definitely be punished. At most, I'll just leave behind a portion of my heart force. Ling Zhao's heart stirred. He instantly made his decision. Rumble. In Ling Zhao's eyes, golden flames erupted from the stone cauldron. Then, an incomparably vast and pure heart force surged out from the stone cauldron. All of it flew towards Ling Zhao's heart realm. Just as Ling Zhao was refining the stone cauldron, in a mysterious space on the 7th floor, a black-robed old man's eyes flashed. The light in front of him was dense. What appeared was the scene of Ling Zhao sitting cross-legged in front of the stone cauldron. This Zhao Ritian actually cultivated heart force? To be able to move the stone cauldron, he must have obtained the inheritance of the Mixed Yuan Heart Pill scripture. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to activate the heart force in the stone cauldron. Could it be that the person who obtained the inheritance of the Mixed Yuan Pill saint is really him? The black-robed old man's eyes revealed a trace of shock. Then, it became incomparably fiery. This Zhao Ritian definitely has a huge secret on him. If you didn't come to the 7th floor, perhaps I wouldn't be able to do anything to you. Unfortunately, you didn't take the path to heaven and barged into hell. Since that's the case, then hand over all the secrets on your body. The black-robed old man's eyes flashed with killing intent. A piece of black ancient stone appeared in his palm. Rumble. The black-robed old man's majestic divine power poured into the black stone. The black stone emitted a bright light. Runes rose up one after another. In an instant, a powerful void fluctuation spread out silently. Ling Zhao, who was devouring the heart force in the stone cauldron, suddenly felt a sense of danger. Then, a blazing light bloomed around him. Runes rose up and gathered into an incomparably terrifying sacred array, enveloping him within. "Who's there?" Ling Xiao opened his eyes and stood up. His eyes were filled with vigilance. He had already devoured 90% of the heart force in the stone cauldron. Ling Xiao's spiritual sense was incomparably powerful. To be able to silently trap him with a powerful sacred array, it could only mean that it was someone from Mount Pill Talisman. Could it be that the saint of Mount Pill Talisman had discovered that he was devouring the heart force in the stone cauldron, so he made a move? Just as Ling Xiao was guessing, a light flashed in the void. An incomparably vast saint's aura enveloped the void. A black-robed old man appeared in the void. His aura was monstrous and unfathomable. Chapter 1915. The old man in the black robe was surrounded by a layer of black light. He looked extremely skinny and his face was full of wrinkles. His eyes were indifferent and his body contained a terrifying power. "You're Xiao Hong." Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. When he saw the old man in the black robe, he immediately recognized his identity. The Grand Elder of Pill Talisman Mountain, one of the 3 sages in charge of the Pill Talisman ceremony, Xiao Hong of the Xiao clan. Ling Xiao did not expect him to appear here. "Zhao Ritian, you can actually shake the heart power in the stone cauldron? It seems like you have a huge secret." Xiao Hong stared at Ling Xiao and said. He did not hide the passion in his eyes. Ling Xiao frowned slightly. He could clearly feel the evil intent from Xiao Hong. He said coldly, "Grand Elder Xiao Hong, you should be in charge of the Pill Talisman ceremony now. Why you here? I don't know how I have offended Grand Elder Xiao Hong. This old man is up to no good. Ling Xiao, why don't you beg me? I'll kill him for you." Zhao Ritian's voice was transmitted into Ling Zhao's consciousness. He was eager to try. "Kill him? Don't worry, I can still handle it. I really want to see what he's up to," Ling Xiao said indifferently. He did not know why Xiao Hong would set up a formation on the 7th level of the Pill Book Pavilion. Could it be because of the grudge between Ling Xiao and Xiao Rui? However, it did not seem like it. "You really did not offend me. However, a man's wealth is his own ruin. Zhao Ritian, the person who obtained the inheritance of the origin pill saint in the void saint world should be you, right? To be able to refine the saint spirit pill, and to have such high attainments in alchemy, without the origin source flame, to be able to refine a 4th grade saint spirit pill, this is not something you can do." Xiao Hong stared at Ling Xiao and said faintly, "Just based on the fact that I refined the saint spiritual pill, you can deduce that I obtained the inheritance of the origin pill saint?" Ling Xiao glanced at Xiao Hong curiously and said non-committally, "Ling Xiao, you actually obtained the inheritance of the origin pill saint. I should have thought of it earlier. I should have known. Those ant-like trash in terms of skills, strength and intelligence, they are no match for you. If there is someone who obtained the inheritance of the origin pill saint, that person must be you. Does this mean that you have the origin pill formula?" Zhao Ritian, who was hiding on Ling Zhao's arm, suddenly became excited. His voice was transmitted into Ling Zhao's sea of consciousness. It was clear that he was very excited. Zhao Ritian had come to the alchemy talisman ceremony for the golden origin pill formula. Unfortunately, he had only found a fragment of the golden origin pill formula in the alchemy library. Now that he had heard Xiao Hong's words, he immediately reacted. "Ling Xiao, I'll help you kill this old fellow. How about you give me a portion of the Hunyuan Golden Dan's pill formula?" Zhao Ritian said impatiently. "Shut up. The origin pill saint world of the origin pill of the void. Zhao Ritians of Zhao of the pill of the world of the world of the world of the world of Zhao of the world 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 of the world. Com. Zhao Ritian nodded quickly. Xiao Hong looked at Ling Xiao indifferently and said, "Zhao Ritian, I have my evidence for being able to deduce that you obtained the inheritance of the origin pill saint. You don't have to deny it. As long as I search your soul, I will be able to see your secret. If you don't resist, I might go easy on you." Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. Xiao Hong's voice was cold as if it came from the depths of hell. It contained an extreme chill that could freeze one's body. You want to search my soul? That's a good idea. However, I'm afraid a mere saint's avatar is not enough. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. His gaze was extremely calm, without a trace of fear. You can tell that I'm a saint's avatar? Zhao Ritian, I'm getting more and more curious about you. You're only a second revolution half-saint and yet you managed to obtain the inheritance of the origin pill saint. However, under the yin-yang reversal formation, you will die even if you are a saint. Xiao Hong looked at Ling Xiao in surprise. His eyes were getting colder and colder. He was indeed Xiao Hong's saint's avatar. Xiao Hong still had to preside over the pill talisman ceremony. It was impossible for him to send a saint's avatar here without anyone knowing. Even if someone suspected him, there would be no evidence. The 7th level of the alchemy library was Xiao Hong's home ground. Although he knew that Zhao Ritian had a lot of secrets and might have a lot of trump cards, he was confident that he could suppress Zhao Ritian and force him to reveal his secrets. Xiao Hong knew how precious the origin pill saint's inheritance was. If he could obtain it, he might have the chance to become the next mountain master of Pill Talisman Mountain. At that time, he might even be able to take a peek at the highest level. Yin-Yang Reversal Formation? Legend has it that it was the Sun-Moon Elixir Sect's protective formation. However, it has been lost for a long time. It can kill all living things. Even a saint can't escape. In addition to a saint's avatar, it does indeed have the ability to kill a saint. Ling Xiao said with interest as he looked at the blazing array around him. The surrounding light shone brightly as runes rose into the air, forming an extremely powerful spirit formation boundary that enveloped Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao could see that the runes around him were like black and white dragons. They coiled together and contained the power of extreme yin and yang. It was as if they could kill everything, exuding a peerless killing force. Even with Ling Xiao's eyesight, he couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. The yin-yang reversal formation that Xiao Hong had set up was indeed very powerful. To be able to recognize the yin-yang reversal formation, you have indeed obtained the origin pill saint's inheritance. Kid, I don't understand. Are you really stupid or do you have something to rely on? This is a peerless killing formation that I deduced from the Sun-Moon Elixir Sect's yin-yang reversal formation. Even if the origin pill saint is resurrected, he will definitely die. Xiao Hong sneered with incomparable confidence. You can try. Ling Xiao said indifferently. He stood there calmly, but his powerful primordial spirit power and heart realm had already spread out. He was paying attention to every movement around him. Ling Xiao felt that Xiao Hong was extremely dangerous and cunning. After all, Xiao Hong's saint's avatar had the combat strength of a saint. In addition to the yin-yang reversal formation, it could even kill a saint. Using such a powerful method to deal with Ling Xiao showed that Xiao Hong was extremely cautious. During the conversation between Ling Xiao and Xiao Hong, it seemed very casual. However, it contained an extremely dangerous situation. Xiao Hong seemed to be looking for a flaw in Ling Xiao's one-hit kill. Ling Xiao was also preparing to take out the flipping sky seal at any time. Chapter 1916. Ling Xiao's cultivation had already reached the 6th revolution half-saint realm. However, because he had used the heaven-shrouding secret technique, he looked like a 2nd revolution half-saint realm cultivator. Even Xiao Hong couldn't see through his true cultivation. Inside Ling Xiao's body, his blood and bones converged to form a purple-gold divine dragon. It was filled with a mysterious chaotic aura, as if it could explode with terrifying physical strength at any time. After being refined by the Pill Emperor's origin, Ling Xiao's physical body had become one. The ancestral dragon secret skill and the indestructible saint technique had merged together, causing the energy in Ling Xiao's body to be as pure as one. Zhao Ritian, since you refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit, don't blame me for this. Xiao Hong's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. A saint comprehended the heaven and earth and merged with the great Tao. He could feel a trace of threat from Ling Xiao's body. He could not help but be vigilant. Zhao Ritian in front of him indeed had a trump card. Rumble. Xiao Hong stretched out a palm and clawed at the void. Suddenly, a blazing flame condensed from the void and turned into a dazzling sun. It flew across the sky towards Ling Xiao. The sun covered the sky, causing the surrounding void to distort. It was as if it could burn the void and turn everything into ashes. This was the supreme superpower of a saint, void creation. Its power was unparalleled. Under this attack, even a 9th revolution half-saint would be turned into ashes if he was caught off guard. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed sharply. A clear dragon's roar was heard from his body. His body was surrounded by purple-gold divine light. He punched out, causing the void to tremble. It was as if a purple-gold divine dragon was flying across the sky and rushing towards the sun. Ling Zhao's cultivation of a 6th revolution half-saint was completely unleashed. The extreme physical strength was terrifying. It was as if he had transformed into an ancient divine dragon, sweeping across the universe. 6th revolution half-saint. You've hidden your cultivation? A cold glint flashed across Xiao Hong's eyes. He had immediately seen through Ling Zhao's true cultivation when he made his move. Moreover, such a powerful physical body made him gasp in admiration. He could not help but increase the power in his palm and suppress it from the sky. Ling Xiao did not use any divine ability or saint technique in this attack. It was purely the ultimate release of his physical strength. After being tempered by the Elixir Emperor's origin, the invincible strength accumulated in Ling Zhao's physical body completely erupted. The void trembled violently as endless divine light gushed out. Ling Xiao did not dodge or evade. He faced the sun in the sky and punched it. His fist was unparalleled, directly blasting the sun apart. Flames spread out and sprinkled down from the sky, containing an incomparably terrifying power. Xiao Hong's eyes flashed. He revealed a trace of shock. This was only a probing attack. However, it wasn't something that an ordinary semi-sage expert could withstand. He hadn't expected that Ling Zhao's body would be so powerful. His fist was incomparably fierce. Xiao Hong, stop probing. Why don't you take one of my attacks too? Ling Xiao said indifferently. His gaze was as sharp as a sword, as if it could pierce through the void. Boom. After his punch blasted the sun apart, he did not dodge at all. Instead, he leaped into the sky and punched toward Xiao Hong. This punch was even more powerful. It was like an immemorial divine mountain crashing down. The momentum was astonishing. You're courting death. Xiao Hong's gaze turned cold. He no longer held back and slapped his palm towards Ling Xiao. The huge palm emitted a dazzling tricolored divine light. It circled around each other as if it had condensed into a tricolored millstone. It covered the sky and the sun as it fell. It was extremely terrifying. This palm contained an incomparably terrifying saint aura. It was also Xiao Hong's true strength. It was far more powerful than the previous probing attack. Boom! Ling Zhao's fist collided with Xiao Hong's palm. The divine light in the sky was annihilated at the same time. Ling Xiao looked as if he had been slapped down by the sky and was about to be suppressed to the ground. However, at this moment, a black ancient seal rose from Ling Zhao's palm. The void in all directions shook at the same time. The huge palm that was suppressing Ling Xiao suddenly exploded. The black ancient seal rose into the air and smashed toward Xiao Hong's palm. As expected of the saint's avatar. I'm still no match for a saint. Ling Xiao sighed. Although his physical body was extremely strong and could even fight a 9-revolution half-saint with all his might, a saint had already surpassed the ordinary living beings. He was the embodiment of the great Tao. Even if Ling Zhao's physical body was extremely powerful, there was no way he could resist. Therefore, he took out the flipping sky seal. As soon as the flipping sky seal was taken out, the invincible and terrifying Saint Aura burst out and collided with Xiao Hong's palm in an instant. A blood-red light rose from Xiao Hong's palm. His palm shook violently, and then cracks appeared on it. In the end, it directly exploded. This is the flipping sky seal? Xiao Hong's body shook violently. His eyes were filled with disbelief. His expression became extremely ugly. He did not expect that his full-strength attack would suffer such a great loss in the hands of Ling Xiao. His palm was directly smashed by Ling Xiao's flipping sky seal. Although this was not a serious injury to him, it could be said to be a great humiliation. You're not Zhao Ritian. You're Long Outqian, the battle hall master of the War God Temple. Good, very good. No wonder you're so fearless. So your trump card is the flipping sky seal. Xiao Hong stared at Ling Xiao. The killing intent in his eyes was almost tangible. He finally understood why Ling Xiao was so fearless. It was because he had the flipping sky seal in his hand. The flipping sky seal's power was unparalleled. It was a peerless holy treasure. Even if a half-saint held the flipping sky seal, he could fight with a real sage. You're not blind to be able to recognize the flipping sky seal. Old man Xiaohong, you dare to attack me. Are you trying to start a war between Pill Talisman Mountain and the War God Temple? Ling Xiao held the flipping sky seal in his hand and stepped into the void. He stared at Xiaohong and sneered. Start a war between Pill Talisman Mountain and the War God Temple? You're not worthy. Long Outqian, I'm afraid you don't know how many people are looking for you outside. Since you dare to come to my Pill Talisman Mountain, then leave behind the Huan Alchemy Saint's inheritance and the flipping sky seal. Xiao Hong was so angry that he laughed and stared at Ling Xiao. Rumble. Xiao Hong's terrifying saint aura erupted like a tsunami. Divine light spread out in all directions. Runes converged. In an instant, two divine lights, one black and one white, soared into the sky. The void became incomparably chaotic in an instant. Chapter 1917. After seeing the flipping sky seal, Xiao Hong did not dare to be careless. He was glad that he had been cautious and set up the yin-yang reversal array in advance. Otherwise, he might not have been able to capture Ling Xiao. So what if you have the flipping sky seal? With your sage-to-be cultivation, you can't activate the flipping sky seal more than once. When your cultivation is exhausted, it will be your time of death. Xiao Hong stared at Ling Xiao and sneered in his heart. Gotcha! Bolts of lightning flashed and dazzling divine light bloomed. The void shook violently. Ling Xiao seemed to be in the center of a storm and could be destroyed by it at any time. The yin-yang reversal array was a peerless killing array of the Sun-Moon Elixir sect in ancient times. It contained terrifying power and was famous for being able to kill a sage. Ling Xiao's eyes flickered as he examined the array in front of him. He could feel that the yin-yang reversal array set up by Xiao Hong was different from the one set by the Sun-Moon Elixir sect. After all, other than Ling Xiao, no one knew what the real yin-yang reversal array was. Xiao Hong had only deduced it from some remnant ancient arrays. It had to be said that Xiao Hong was a genius in the field of arrays. The yin-yang reversal array he had set up had completely turned into a peerless killing array, which made Ling Xiao incomparably amazed. Boom! Streaks of blazing divine light came from all directions like sword radiance, shooting toward Ling Xiao. They were so dense that they covered the sky and earth, making it impossible for anyone to guard against them. Ling Xiao's body flashed with purple-gold divine light. The flipping sky seal floated above Ling Xiao's head and dropped runes like a waterfall, blocking the light from all directions. However, this was only a portion of the yin-yang reversal array's power. Divine light filled the sky, and a terrifying chill descended. Ling Xiao couldn't help but shiver, as if his entire body was frozen. This was the power of extreme yin. If it were not for the flipping sky seal, Ling Xiao would have turned into an ice sculpture. Boom! The heaven-devouring fire within Ling Xiao's body burned fiercely. As the raging flames rose, the surroundings were filled with wisps of white smoke. Ling Xiao's blood boiled as his gaze became even more solemn. He knew what Xiao Hong was planning. He wanted to use the yin-yang reversal array to exhaust his cultivation so that he could no longer use the flipping sky seal. However, in the end, the flipping sky seal was still a supreme treasure with unparalleled offensive power. In terms of defense, it was a little weak. It could only protect Ling Xiao from fatal attacks. As Ling Xiao used the flipping sky seal to break the killing intent that erupted from the formation, he observed the yin-yang reversal formation in front of him, trying to find a flaw in it. After all, Ling Xiao knew about the true yin-yang reversal formation. Although Xiao Hong had innovated and walked on a new path, it was not completely unrelated. There were still traces to be found. Ling Xiao, why are you wasting so much effort? This yin-yang reversal array is not something you can break. Why don't you let me do it? I promise to help you kill this old bastard. You just have to give me the primordial chaos golden pills formula. Zhao Ritian said eagerly. He was still unwilling to give up. This is only one of Xiao Hong's sage avatars. If you want him to know that you have an extreme Dao Emperor weapon, you can try. When the time comes, Ji Feishuan will be your example. Ling Xiao said snappily. Ling Xiao naturally knew what Zhao Ritian was trying to do. With his arrogant and boastful personality, he probably wanted to take out the Yen Emperor Cauldron and kill Xiao Hong. However, Xiao Hong was only one of the sage avatars. If he really killed Xiao Hong would immediately know that Zhao Ritian had an extreme Dao Emperor weapon. By then it would be a big joke. If I don't do it, do you really think you can kill this old bastard? Zhao Ritian was at a loss for words as he said unhappily. Let's try. I'm not sure. Ling Xiao smiled faintly as a wisp of wisdom flashed across his eyes. He realized that he had found a flaw in the yin-yang reversal array. If he could use it well, it might be of great use. Rumble. Within the yin-yang reversal array, a chilly wind howled and swept across the area. Blazing flames burned the void. There were also various kinds of wind, rain, thunder, and lightning that gathered to form the ultimate killing intent. Even if a real sage was trapped within, he would be severely injured even if he did not die. Although Ling Xiao was protected by the flipping sky seal, he still felt threatened. However, Xiao Hong, who was hiding at the side, was a little anxious. This little bastard. Why doesn't he show any signs of exhaustion? Could it be that he has complete control over the flipping sky seal? Impossible. This is just his appearance. Xiao Hong's eyes were gloomy and his face was ghastly. No one knew better than Xiao Hong how powerful the yin-yang reversal array was. However, he could feel that Ling Xiao was like a tough rock under the protection of the flipping sky seal. Although the yin-yang reversal array had some effect on Ling Xiao, it was unable to break through the flipping sky seal's defense and injure Ling Xiao. Little bastard, I'd like to see how tough your tortoise shell is. Yin-yang life and death ray, kill him. Xiao Hong stood at the eye of the yin-yang reversal array, runes swirling around his body. His hands rapidly formed a seal, and the essence blood within his body instantly gushed out. Xiao Hong's aura began to weaken at a speed visible to the naked eye. In an instant, a black and white light appeared in front of him. The yin-yang life and death ray was formed by Xiao Hong's vitality. It was the strongest power that the yin-yang reversal array could condense. The moment this ray appeared, the surrounding void seemed to be unable to withstand its power and immediately collapsed. Surrounded by the void turbulence and chaotic qi, the yin-yang life and death ray appeared even stranger. The black and white yin-yang life and death rays silently integrated into the array. In a blazing divine light, it shot toward Ling Xiao's forehead. Boom! Ling Xiao controlled the flipping sky seal and shattered the flames in front of him. However, he felt his body tremble and a sense of extreme danger rose in his heart. That was the warning of the incomplete secret skill of fate. Although Ling Xiao had only obtained the incomplete secret skill of fate, it had given him an extreme sense of danger. Ling Xiao did not even think about it. The flipping sky seal directly struck forward. The purple-gold divine light around him bloomed and a terrifying aura spread. The blood in his body began to boil and the wordless heavenly book in his sea of consciousness firmly protected his primordial spirit. Chapter 1918. This was the best that Ling Xiao could do in an instant. He believed that under such protection, even if it was a full-powered attack from a great sage, he would have a chance to block it. Boom! The power of the flipping sky seal was so terrifying that it distorted the void in front of him. Then it exploded. Endless divine light was annihilated, revealing the yin-yang life and death ray in the center. The moment the yin-yang life and death ray came into contact with the flipping sky seal, it bent instantly. Then, it bypassed the flipping sky seal and shot directly towards Ling Zhao's forehead. The yin-yang life and death ray seemed to contain the power to annihilate all life. Ling Zhao even saw that the void around the yin-yang life and death ray was silently annihilated. The yin-yang life and death ray arrived in front of Ling Zhao's forehead in an instant. There was a flash of blood between Ling Zhao's eyebrows. A bloody hole appeared on his forehead in an instant. Even the eerie white bone was exposed. Ling Zhao felt an extreme pain coming from between his eyebrows. The yin-yang life and death ray seemed to penetrate his sea of consciousness and completely annihilate his primordial spirit. At this moment, Ling Zhao was in extreme danger of death. Ling Zhao let out a muffled groan, but his eyes were brighter than ever before. His heart was calm to the extreme at this moment, and he formed two hand seals with his mind. One hand pointed to the sky, and the other to the ground. The secret skill of life and the secret skill of death were activated by Ling Zhao at the same time. His eyes turned black and white, containing an incomparably mysterious light. The yin-yang life and death ray was originally going to shoot into Ling Zhao's sea of consciousness. However, at this moment, it flashed and split into two, merging into Ling Zhao's eyes. Ling Zhao suddenly felt that his eyes seemed to have undergone some strange changes. However, Ling Zhao did not have time to investigate the changes in his eyes. He knew that the opportunity he had been waiting for had arrived. Ling Zhao instantly rose into the sky. The flipping sky seal in the void expanded violently. Like an immemorial divine mountain, it directly traversed the void and suppressed the area. Mysterious runes appeared on Ling Zhao's fingertips. Golden light shone brightly, and the surrounding void rippled. Then Ling Zhao pointed forward. Boom! The power of the flipping sky seal was unparalleled. The terrifying divine power exploded and shattered the void, turning it into endless chaotic turbulence. As Ling Zhao's finger fell, the surrounding space violently shook. Runes interweaved and the chaotic fog that filled the sky began to disperse. Xiao Hong, who had originally disappeared, appeared in front of Ling Zhao. Pitif! Xiao Hong suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. His face became extremely pale, and even his life aura became much weaker. You can actually see through the yin-yang reversal array? This is impossible! Xiao Hong shrieked, his eyes filled with disbelief. The yin-yang life-death beam was formed from the life force within Xiao Hong's body fused with the power of the formation. It was indestructible, and Xiao Hong had once used it to kill a saint and devour all of his life force. The yin-yang life and death ray existed in between reality and illusion, so it was difficult for the flipping sky seal to block it. If Ling Zhao had not cultivated the secret skill of life and the secret skill of death, it would have been difficult for him to resolve the yin-yang life and death ray. After the yin-yang life and death ray was devoured by Ling Zhao, Xiao Hong suffered a great backlash. However, Ling Zhao did not give Xiao Hong any chance. Almost instantly, he unleashed a thunderous attack. First, he used the flipping sky seal to forcibly suppress the changes in the yin-yang reversal array. Then he pointed out the flaws in the array. At this moment, although the yin-yang reversal array had not been broken, it did not have any effect on Ling Zhao. Nothing is impossible. Since you know that I have obtained the inheritance of the origin elixir saint, how dare you use the yin-yang reversal array to deal with me? How foolish! Xiao Hong, today I have destroyed one of your saint avatars. In the future, I will kill you with my own hands. Ling Zhao said coldly as he looked at Xiao Hong. Boom! At this moment, the flipping sky seal exploded with blazing light. The Supreme Emperor aura contained in it completely erupted. The surrounding void was destroyed at the same time, and the earth trembled violently. At this moment, the flipping sky seal seemed to be hundreds or thousands of times stronger than before. Xiao Hong's body shook violently, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. How is this possible? How can the flipping sky seal be so strong? Xiao Hong roared. His entire body turned into a ray of light, and he used his extreme speed to escape from the area covered by the flipping sky seal. He was scared out of his wits by the flipping sky seal. He no longer wanted to deal with Ling Xiao. He only wanted to escape from this place. Boom. However, this was the strongest attack of the flipping sky seal. It contained the Supreme Emperor aura, and it seemed to be able to destroy the 9 heavens and 10 lands. It swept across the universe and locked Xiao Hong in place. Xiao Hong's entire body exploded with a loud bang, directly turning into a dazzling rain of light, completely disappearing. The Saint Avatars were destroyed by Ling Xiao just like that. Ling Xiao, you really destroyed a Saint Avatars? This flipping sky seal is not a sage treasure. This is an incomplete Supreme Emperor weapon? Zhao Ritian was completely shocked as he looked at Ling Xiao in disbelief. He originally thought that Ling Xiao would ask for his help in the end. He would then show off his strength and help Ling Xiao kill Xiao Hong. Then he would obtain the elixir formula of the Hunyuan Golden Pill from Ling Xiao. However, it seemed that Ling Xiao had broken through the yin-yang reversal array and killed Xiao Hong with his own strength. In particular, Zhao Ritian was shocked when he felt the Extreme Emperor's might contained in the Cyclic Sky Seal's final blow. Perhaps it was once a Supreme Emperor weapon, but now it's just a sage treasure. Zhao Ritian, let's leave this place quickly. My identity has been exposed, and I've destroyed one of Xiao Hong's Saint Avatars. I'm afraid he won't let this matter rest. This Pill Talisman Mountain is going to be very lively. Ling Xiao smiled faintly, and his eyes shone with a dazzling light. Xiao Hong's Saint Avatars had been destroyed, and his identity had been exposed. Based on Pill Talisman Mountain's behavior, they would probably send out a saint to deal with him. Ling Xiao had decided to escape. After all, he had obtained what he wanted from the Pill Talisman ceremony. He had gained a lot. All right, I'll kill my way out with you. Don't worry, I'll protect you. When the time comes, just give me the elixir formula of the Hunyuan Golden Pill as revenge. Zhao Ritian chuckled and said nonchalantly. However, he was still thinking about the elixir formula of the Hunyuan Golden Pill. Why are you still thinking about the elixir formula of the Hunyuan Golden Pill? Don't worry, once we leave this place, I'll give you the elixir formula of the Hunyuan Golden Pill. Ling Xiao did not know whether to laugh or cry, but he still nodded seriously. Chapter 1919. In Taishan City, the Grand Talisman Contest had reached its final critical moment. There was no doubt that Lin Shi was the most outstanding one. Her attainments in Talisman Taoism were extremely high. Although she was not as freakish as Zhuo Bufan and Ling Xiao in alchemy, she had still refined a third-grade 5 elements shift sacred talisman and become the champion of Talisman Taoism. In addition to Lin Shi, Lu Qinghuan's performance was also very outstanding. She had refined a third-grade sacred fire talisman. Heavenly Talisman Lord was a veteran 9-star talisman master and had refined a second-grade heaven-breaking talisman. Master Jiao, Tai Yunzi, and Xiao Hong, the 3 saints, stood in the air. Their eyes were extremely calm as they watched everyone's every move. Cough! Xiao Hong's face suddenly turned pale. He grunted, and a trace of blood appeared at the corner of his mouth. His eyes were full of violent killing intent, and his anger burned the sky. Xiao Hong's Saint Avatar had been destroyed, and he himself had suffered a lot of backlash. Long Outyan, you deserve to die. Xiao Hong's heart was filled with monstrous killing intent, and the aura around him became somewhat irritable. The Saint Avatars condensed by the saints were all powerful avatars that had been collected from all kinds of heaven and earth treasures and honed in all kinds of dangerous places for countless years. All kinds of secret methods to condense the Saint Avatars had always been secrets. Xiao Hong's Saint Avatar possessed 50% of his original body's battle strength. It could be considered a top-grade secret technique. Legend had it that top-grade secret techniques or even supreme secret techniques could allow the Saint Avatar to possess all of the original body's battle strength. Losing a sage's clone made Xiao Hong's heart bleed. What shocked Xiaohong even more was that the yin-yang life and death ray condensed by his saint avatar had been silently swallowed by Ling Xiao. That was a supreme killing move that could kill a saint. It contained the power of life and death, but it could not even kill a half-saint. Long Outyin not only has the flipping sky seal and the origin alchemy saint's inheritance, but he also has other secrets. The anger and killing intent in Xiaohong's eyes slowly faded, and they became deep again. He resisted the urge to kill his way into the alchemy pavilion and cause trouble for Ling Xiao. "Brother Xiao, are you all right?" Master Jiao could not help but ask when he saw the trace of blood at the corner of Xiaohong's mouth. Tai Yunzi's face also changed slightly. Xiaohong looked as if he had suffered some kind of serious injury, which made him a little suspicious. "I'm fine. It's just that I've been cultivating a secret technique recently, and there are some side effects." Xiaohong forced out a smile. The blood at the corner of his mouth dissipated, and his pale face became rosy at a speed visible to the naked eye. It was as if the person who had just vomited blood was not him. Although Xiaohong hated Ling Xiao to the bone, he didn't reveal Ling Xiao's true identity. On the contrary, the more Ling Xiao hurt him, the more he understood the preciousness of Ling Xiao's secret. He wanted to monopolize Ling Xiao's secret. Otherwise, if he revealed it now, he was afraid that the ancestors of Pill Talisman Mountain would be alerted. At that time, he wouldn't be able to obtain anything. Junior brother Xiao is really diligent. But you still have to take care of your body. Stay calm and don't think too much. Master Wine smiled faintly. There seemed to be a hidden meaning in his words. "Thank you for your concern, senior brother. I'm fine," Xiaohong said in an indifferent tone. "That's good." Master Wine nodded and said. He was laughing coldly in his heart. He had just sent a voice transmission to Ling Xiao and found out what had happened in the alchemy library. Xiaohong's saint avatar had been destroyed, and he naturally vomited blood because of the backlash. However, Master Wine didn't expose him. Instead, he secretly became more vigilant. Xiaohong was a scheming person. The more he endured it, the more it meant that he was after something big. I didn't expect Long Outyin to be able to destroy one of Xiaohong's saint avatars. But this way, his chances of entering the 8 treasures Lotus Merit Pool will be much higher. Master Wine thought to himself. He was also a little shocked. After destroying Xiaohong's saint avatar in the alchemy library, Ling Xiao didn't hide his true identity and directly told Master Wine. This news naturally shocked Master Wine. He didn't expect Zhao Ritian to be the battle hall master of the combat god temple, Long Outyin. However, he didn't care about the grudges between the alchemy library and the combat god temple. He joined the alchemy library to search for Xiao Yu's soul. Now that he saw how powerful Ling Xiao was, he was more confident that Ling Xiao would be able to find Xiao Yu's soul. In the alchemy library, Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian left the 7th level and returned to the formation that Zhao Ritian had set up on the 6th level. After Zhao Ritian revealed himself, they left the 6th level and walked out of the alchemy library. "Are you sure you want to leave the alchemy library? You should know that each of you has a month to comprehend it." Outside the alchemy library, the black-robed saint and the white-robed saint looked at Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian as if they were fools. They didn't expect Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian to leave the alchemy library after staying there for a few days. The alchemy library was the sacred ground of the alchemy library. It wasn't easy even for a true disciple to enter the alchemy library. "We're sure. The alchemy library is useless to us," Ling Xiao said with a smile. "That's right. The alchemy knowledge in the alchemy library is too simple. I've already learned it," Zhao Ritian said with a proud smile. "Useless? The alchemy knowledge is too simple? You've already learned it? Good. Very good. I hope you don't regret it. Get lost." The black-robed saint's eyes turned cold as he laughed. The white-robed saint also looked at Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian with hostility. He had already determined that these two were stupid and ignorant. They were also arrogant and conceited. However, he was puzzled. How did Ling Xiao refine the grade 4 saint spiritual pill and become the alchemy champion? "Let's go." Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian looked at each other and smiled. They weren't angry and left the alchemy library immediately. Chirp. At this moment, a piercing cry of a crane could be heard. In the distant clouds, a huge red-crowned crane flew over at an extremely fast speed. Its aura was incomparably powerful. The red-crowned crane shone brightly and transformed into a little girl in a feathered robe. She looked like she was in her teens and was extremely cute. She skipped towards Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. You must be Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian, right? Old Master asked me to pick you up. Come with me. The little girl looked at Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian curiously as she tilted her head and asked. That's us. Thank you, Fairy Crane. Chapter 1920. In Ling Xiao and Master Jiao's telepathic conversation, Master Jiao had already introduced the young lady's identity. She was Master Jiao's mount, an ancient mutant. She could also be called Fairy He. She would bring Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian to Master Jiao's cave abode. Master Jiao was also afraid that Ling Xiao would be plotted against again, so he sent Fairy He to fetch Ling Xiao. I won't carry you. Come with me. Grab my claws. If you trigger the protective mountain array here, I won't be able to save you. Fairy He said naively. Then, she shook her body and turned into a huge red-crowned crane again. She looked very handsome, and her eyes were very lively. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian looked at each other and smiled bitterly. Each of them grabbed one of Fairy He's claws, and the red-crowned crane instantly soared into the sky. Like a bolt of lightning, it shot into the misty void and disappeared without a trace. Fairy He actually came to fetch these two people personally? Could it be that they have something to do with Senior Brother Jiao? The black-robed saint's eyes flashed, and he said with a little surprise. He knew Fairy He's identity. She was not just Master Jiao's mount. Master Jiao doted on Fairy He very much, and he even raised her like a daughter. Fairy He was usually very arrogant. She did not even care about saints. When she came to the alchemy library, she did not even greet the black-robed saint and the white-robed saint. I'm not sure about that, but it seems that these two people are not simple. The white-robed saint said with a deep meaning. Not simple? I also feel that the two of them left the alchemy library so quickly. Could it be that they did something on the 7th level? The black-robed saint's eyes showed a trace of suspicion. It shouldn't be. The 7th level is guarded by Senior Brother Xiao Hong's Saint Clone. If they want to do anything, they won't be able to hide it from Senior Brother Xiao Hong. Don't worry so much. Our duty is to protect the alchemy library. The white-robed saint shook his head and closed his eyes again. After leaving the Danshu pavilion, he flew into the clouds with Fairy He. Only then did Ling Xiao realize that they were in the heart of the Danshu mountain. Around them were floating mountains, which looked like clouds and mist, with thousands of rays of light. Ancient trees were green, waterfalls were flowing, and there were palaces and pavilions hidden among them. It was like a paradise. There seemed to be some kind of mysterious energy in the air, causing Ling Xiao to feel a little scared. That was the protective formation of Pill Talisman Mountain. If anyone dared to barge in, they would probably be reduced to dust in an instant. Only Fairy He was very familiar with the defensive formation of Mount Dan Talisman. She dodged the traps with great agility and flew forward with Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. Fortunately, that Xiao Hong didn't fly into a rage out of humiliation and directly expose my identity. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so easy for us to leave Pill Talisman Mountain. Ling Xiao lamented. That's right. The foundation of this Pill Talisman Mountain is indeed extraordinary. Zhao Ritian also put away his disdainful expression and said in agreement. However, Xiao Hong did not pursue us even after we killed his saint avatar. I'm afraid he has a bigger plan. We have to leave Pill Talisman Mountain as soon as possible. Ling Xiao said slowly. There was a hint of coldness in his eyes. He could vaguely guess what Xiao Hong was thinking. The reason why Xiao Hong did not act immediately was probably because he wanted to take all the secrets on him for himself. Don't worry. As long as you give me the elixir formula of the Golden Chaos Pill, I will definitely protect you and leave Pill Talisman Mountain. Zhao Ritian chuckled. Isn't it just the elixir formula of the Golden Chaos Pill? You're still not done yet. This is the elixir formula of the golden chaos pill. I'll give it to you. Ling Xiao rolled his eyes. Zhao Ritian could not stop talking about the elixir formula of the golden chaos pill. He simply took out a jade talisman and imprinted the elixir formula of the golden chaos pill on it. He then threw it to Zhao Ritian. You're giving me the elixir formula of the golden chaos pill just like that? Aren't you afraid that I'll run away? Zhao Ritian asked in surprise. Will you? Ling Xiao asked with a faint smile. Of course not. Do you think I, Zhao Ritian, am such a disloyal person? I said that I will protect you and leave Pill Talisman Mountain. I, Zhao Ritian, will definitely do what I said. Zhao Ritian looked like he was about to jump up. His voice was much louder than before. He patted his chest and looked extremely loyal. As they spoke, he brought Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian to a floating mountain. This floating mountain was a huge snowy mountain covered in white snow. It was extremely cold and deserted. There were only a few small courtyards at the top of the mountain. It looked very simple and ordinary. The snowy mountain. Could this be where Master Jiao and Xiao Yu used to live? Ling Xiao could not help but think to himself. Ling Xiao could feel that the snowy mountain in front of him was formed by Master Jiao's supreme technique. It was not a naturally formed snowy mountain. After all, it was surrounded by tall mountains and ancient trees. Only this mountain was covered in snow. Based on what Master Jiao had told Ling Xiao immediately thought of the snowy mountain where Master Jiao and Xiao Yu used to live. The two of you, stay here and wait for Master Jiao to return. He left Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian on the snowy mountain. She then flew up into the sky and disappeared into the clouds. No one knew where she had flown off to play. This snowy mountain is not ordinary. It has an extremely powerful holy formation. It is not weaker than the yin-yang reversal formation in the alchemy library. Zhao Ritian looked around curiously and said thoughtfully, since Master Jiao allowed us to come to his cave, it means that this place can protect us. Let's stay here for a few days. When Master Jiao returns, we will leave Pill Talisman Mountain. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he slowly said. He could also feel that the void around this snowy mountain was distorted. There were runes hidden in the void. There was an extremely terrifying formation that was not much weaker than the yin-yang reversal formation. If anyone dared to barge in, they would probably be turned into ashes in an instant. Ling Xiao, why don't I make use of these few days to refine pills for you? Don't you want to use my Yen Emperor Cauldron to refine pills? Zhao Ritian suddenly rolled his eyes and chuckled at Ling Xiao. With Zhao Ritian's temper, the reason why he took the initiative to refine pills for Ling Xiao was mainly because Ling Xiao had given him the Golden Hunyuan pill formula without hesitation. You want to refine pills now? The Eternal Creation pill is a grade 6 divine pill. Can you really control your Supreme Emperor weapon? Ling Xiao looked at Zhao Ritian suspiciously. Of course. Isn't it just refining the Eternal Creation pill? My Yen Emperor Cauldron can refine all kinds of pills. It's just a grade 6 divine pill. I can refine it in less than a day. If my cultivation is high enough, refining a grade 9 divine pill will not be difficult. Chapter 1921. I doubt it. Ling Xiao looked at Zhao Ritian and said honestly, you can doubt my cultivation, but please don't doubt the power of the Extreme Dao Emperor weapon. With my current cultivation, although I can only activate the Extreme Dao Emperor weapon once, it's not a problem for me to refine the Eternal Creation pill. Come on, take out all the spiritual medicine that you have. Let me, Zhao Ritian, refine the pill for you. Zhao Ritian said eagerly. His eyes were filled with excitement. No, I want to refine the Eternal Creation pill personally. You have to activate the Flame Emperor Cauldron to help me. The Eternal Creation pill is very important to me. I only have enough spiritual medicine for one attempt. So, I can only succeed. Ling Xiao shook his head. Alright, I'll let you control the Flame Emperor Cauldron temporarily. But don't you dare think about it. Zhao Ritian pursed his lips and did not insist on refining the pill for Ling Xiao. Thank you. Ling Xiao smiled and said to Zhao Ritian seriously. Zhao Ritian waved his hand and said, "Don't mention it. I lost to you. I'm not used to seeing you being so serious. But remember, one day I will definitely defeat you. Then I'm afraid you won't have the chance in this lifetime. Come on, let's refine the eternal creation pill." Ling Xiao said and laughed. Sush. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian sat down cross-legged in the courtyard. Ling Xiao took out the heaven-concealing disk array and formed a heaven-concealing great array, enveloping the area around them. In order to hide the aura of the extreme Dao Emperor weapon, Zhao Ritian took out the heaven-concealing great array and formed an extremely tight barrier. Then, he carefully took out the Flame Emperor Cauldron. Rumble. The Flame Emperor Cauldron emitted an extremely hot light. It looked ancient and mysterious as it appeared in front of Ling Xiao. It had 3 legs and 2 ears. It was about 3 feet tall. There was a blazing sun on the body of the cauldron. There was the shadow of the sun god worshipped by the ancient people. There was also the image of Zhou Tian. It looked extremely mysterious. "Is this the Flame Emperor Cauldron? Zhao Ritian, you're really lucky," Ling Xiao exclaimed in his heart. His eyes were filled with disbelief. The Emperor Yen Cauldron in front of him was a complete Supreme Emperor weapon. It was different from the half-baked flipping sky seal that Ling Xiao possessed. Once the Emperor Yen Cauldron was fully awakened, it would possess the supreme power of a great emperor for a short period of time. Ling Xiao had also heard of the Flame Emperor before. He was a great emperor from ancient times who created the Fire World and was the ruler of the Fire World. It was said that he had a very good relationship with the Pill Emperor. The fact that Zhao Ritian was able to obtain the complete inheritance of the Flame Emperor was simply heaven-defying. Of course, who do you think I am? I am favored by the heavens and nurtured by fate. It is not my honor that the Flame Emperor has chosen me to inherit his legacy. It is the Flame Emperor's honor. Zhao Ritian laughed proudly and started to show off again. "Stop showing off. We should hurry up and refine pills," Ling Xiao said in annoyance. He finally understood that this bastard Zhao Ritian could not be praised at all. Not only did he know how to take advantage of others, he could even take advantage of others. No problem. I will assist you and show you the power of the Emperor Yen Cauldron. If I were to use the Emperor Yen Cauldron to refine pills in the Alchemy Talisman ceremony, you would not be the champion. Zhao Ritian chuckled. Use the Emperor Yen Cauldron? Then you will be hunted down by all the sages in the divine world. Ling Xiao stared at him and said. He then took out all the spiritual herbs needed to refine the eternal creation pill, including the supreme elixir, Snow Lotus of Creation. He ignored Zhao Ritian as he was afraid that Zhao Ritian would fall ill from anger. This guy was simply a clown. The eternal creation pill was a grade 6 divine pill. It was much more difficult to refine than the saint's spiritual pill. It was already extremely difficult for Ling Xiao to refine a grade 4 saint spiritual pill previously. If it were not for the Emperor Yen Cauldron, Ling Xiao would not have dared to refine the eternal creation pill alone. He had obtained the elixir formula of the eternal creation pill from the elixir book pavilion. It was extremely detailed and Ling Xiao had already memorized the elixir formula, including the various refining methods. Seeing that Ling Xiao had prepared all the spiritual herbs, Zhao Ritian patted the Emperor Yen Cauldron. Suddenly, the Emperor Yen Cauldron hummed and a resplendent sun flew out. It looked extremely mysterious as it landed in Zhao Ritian's palm. Ling Xiao, this is the Sun Soul Essence in the Emperor Yen Cauldron. You can refine the Sun Soul Essence and temporarily control the Emperor Yen Cauldron to refine pills. I will protect you. Zhao Ritian handed the resplendent sun to Ling Xiao. Sun Soul Essence? Good stuff. Ling Xiao's eyes lit up. The Sun Soul Essence was a spirit that was nurtured in the sun. It was like the soul of the sun. However, in the vast starry sky, there were countless sun stars. It was rare for a Sun Soul Essence to be nurtured. Ling Xiao understood what Zhao Ritian meant. He did not stand on ceremony and took the Sun Soul Essence. Then, majestic primordial spirit power spread out and merged into the Sun Soul Essence. He started to refine the Sun Soul Essence. After taking control of the Sun Soul essence, Ling Xiao immediately felt that he had established a mysterious connection with the Emperor Yen cauldron before him. Rise! Ling Xiao shouted and immediately struck the Emperor Yen cauldron with his palm. Boom! The Emperor Yen cauldron shook slightly and slowly floated up. The ancient runes on the cauldron started to light up. Blazing flames burned fiercely and enveloped the Emperor Yen cauldron. Ling Xiao felt that an extreme emperor's aura seemed to have awakened in the Emperor Yen cauldron. In an instant, the Emperor Yen cauldron became fiery red and golden rays of light shot out from the mouth of the cauldron. It looked mysterious. It is indeed an extreme emperor weapon. It refined the elixir cauldron in an instant. Ling Xiao exclaimed in his heart. An ordinary elixir cauldron, even a flawless holy treasure, could not be refined so quickly. However, the Emperor Yen cauldron seemed to have been refined in an instant. Everything was ready and waiting for Ling Xiao to refine the elixir. Ling Xiao did not hesitate and threw the snow lotus of creation into the Emperor Yen cauldron. Boom! A fire tornado rolled out from the Emperor Yen cauldron and swept up the snow lotus of creation. The blazing flames split into golden rays and covered the snow lotus of creation like a lampshade. Ling Xiao could see that the snow lotus of creation was melting at a speed visible to the naked eye under the burning flames. It turned into a ball of transparent and crystalline medicinal liquid. Even the impurities within it disappeared instantly, leaving behind the purest form of energy. The Emperor Yen cauldron buzzed and vibrated. It emitted a strange sound wave that seemed to have a mysterious rhythm. The flames vibrated and golden rays of mist came out from the cauldron. They slowly merged into the elixir of the snow lotus of creation. This is the elixir energy of the elixir cauldron? Ling Xiao's body trembled, and his eyes revealed a trace of incomparable excitement. Chapter 1922. Elixir Qi was the essence of elixir Dao accumulated in the elixir cauldron. It was extremely rare and the quality of the elixir cauldron and the elixir cauldron was extremely high. Only an elixir cauldron of holy treasure or above could condense elixir Qi. It contained a trace of elixir Dao's power and was extremely mysterious. If a trace of elixir Qi could be integrated into the elixir during the process of refining elixir pills, the quality of the elixir pills would be greatly improved. The Emperor Yen cauldron was an extreme Dao emperor weapon. During the ancient times, the Emperor Yen had used the Emperor Yen cauldron to achieve Dao. No one knew how many elixir pills he had refined with the Emperor Yen cauldron or how many experts he had killed. The elixir Qi formed was extremely mysterious. After the elixir Qi of the Emperor Yen cauldron was integrated into the elixir Qi of the Emperor Yen cauldron, the elixir Qi of the snow lotus of creation shone brightly. It was as white and round as a star. There was a faint layer of mist around it, and it looked even more mysterious. Boom! The Emperor Yen cauldron trembled slightly and emitted a very rhythmic rhythm, as if it was breathing. In an instant, the heavens and the earth resonated with it. A vast amount of power merged into the Emperor Yen cauldron and poured into the brilliant medicinal liquid. Ling Xiao used the sun essence to control the Emperor Yen cauldron to refine the eternal creation elixir, and he did not dare to relax at all. It is indeed an extreme Dao emperor weapon. If an ordinary holy treasure cauldron was used to refine the eternal creation elixir, I am afraid it would take a few months or even a few years. However, the Emperor Yen cauldron only took a few hours to complete the process. Ling Xiao praised in his heart. At the same time, when he used the Emperor Yen cauldron to refine elixir pills, he could vaguely see that the Emperor Yen cauldron contained an extremely terrifying power. It was like an endless volcano, and only a trace of it was used to refine the eternal creation elixir. Ling Xiao guessed that the power was probably the Emperor aura of the Emperor Yen cauldron. Once the power was completely released, the Emperor Yen cauldron would possess the power of a supreme emperor. In the process of controlling the Emperor Yen cauldron to refine the eternal creation elixir, Ling Xiao also saw the source of power and understood some changes in the Great Tao. He benefited greatly from it. Zhao Ritian sat Emperor Yen cauldron and watched Ling Zhao's Yen cauldron was like flowing water, and he was Emperor Yen cauldron. Second uncle, Ling Xiao actually obtained the inheritance of the primordial chaos pill saint? Otherwise, I would have definitely defeated him. However, with the primordial chaos golden pills pill formula, I'm afraid the day of me becoming a saint won't be too far away, right? Zhao Ritian thought to himself. Proving the Tao and becoming a saint. How could it be so easy? If you want to prove your Tao and become the one and only first sage of all time, or even the peerless and invincible great emperor of all time, a mere Hunyuan golden core is not enough. You need more accumulation. This is the era of great competition. I'm afraid that countless ancient geniuses will awaken in this era to fight for the supreme good fortune. They will break through the limits again and again. Only then will they be able to prove their Tao and become saints. Only then will they become deathless saints, the first saint of all time. The second eldest uncle sneered. The first saint of all time? I, Zhao Ritian, will definitely become the first saint of all time. Not only did second uncle's words not affect Zhao Ritian at all, but it also made his blood boil. His eyes were filled with excitement. This guy never knows what fear is. Second uncle shook his head and laughed bitterly in his heart. One day later, rumble. The trembling of the Emperor Flame Cauldron became more and more intense. The surrounding flames were also burning brightly. The Sun Essence Soul's energy had been depleted by more than half and it became a little weak. Suddenly, a bright divine light shot into the sky. The Emperor Flame Cauldron bloomed with beautiful sparks. The mysterious runes and patterns around it also lit up at this moment. They were vivid and lifelike as if they had come to life. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The medicinal liquid of the snow lotus of creation in the Emperor Flame Cauldron split into 9 balls and shot into the sky. In the flames in the void, they condensed into 9 dazzling elixirs. The primordial chaos golden core had condensed. The lightning in the void was dazzling. Bolts of lightning struck down and struck the 9 primordial chaos golden cores. They were constantly refining the elixirs, causing the 9 primordial chaos golden cores to become more and more crystal clear. In the end, the 9 primordial chaos golden cores went through a total of 54 lightning tribulations and became a top-notch grade 6 divine elixir. Originally, Ling Xiao could have refined a grade 7 divine elixir by condensing a trace of elixir energy in the Emperor Flame Cauldron. However, he needed more than 1 primordial chaos golden core. To be safe, Ling Xiao divided it into 9 elixirs. Hence, it was only a grade 6 divine elixir. However, a grade 6 divine elixir was enough. Even a supreme sage who was severely injured could recover after swallowing 1 primordial chaos golden core, let alone a sage. The primordial chaos golden core has finally been refined successfully. There was a hint of excitement in Ling Xiao's eyes as he leaped up and collected the 9 divine elixir pills in the void. Only then did he feel completely at ease. With the primordial chaos golden core, the Tao injuries of the senior brothers would be completely healed. Zhao Ritian, thank you. This primordial chaos golden core is for you. Ling Xiao said seriously to Zhao Ritian. Then he handed Zhao Ritian a primordial chaos golden core. A grade 6 divine elixir was simply a supreme treasure for a sage to be. No matter how severe the injury, it could be healed immediately. Without the Emperor Flame Cauldron, Ling Xiao might not have been able to refine the primordial chaos golden core. You're welcome. I'm just fulfilling the bet between us. Don't think that you can bribe me with a primordial chaos golden core. One day, I'll defeat you. Zhao Ritian hesitated for a moment before taking the primordial chaos golden core. He turned his head to the side and said arrogantly, I'll wait for you. Ling Xiao said with a smile. The Emperor Flame Cauldron turned into a stream of light again and merged into Zhao Ritian's body. Chirp. Suddenly, the sound of a crane piercing through gold and stones could be heard. The clouds in the distance were misty. Crane Fairy shot towards the great snow mountain from the clouds. There was a sage-like old man standing on top of her. It was Master Wine. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian immediately put away the formation and went to greet Master Wine. Are you refining elixirs? 54 pill tribulations. This is a grade 6 divine elixir. It seems like I've underestimated you. Master Wine sensed the remnant aura of the pill tribulations on the great snow mountain. He could not help but be shocked. He looked deeply at Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. Master Wine, you're too kind. With our true strength, we can't refine a grade 6 divine elixir. We just use some tricks. It's not worth mentioning. Chapter 1923. No matter what method you used to be able to refine a 6th grade sacred pill, this means that your alchemy cultivation is no longer below mine. If I'm not wrong, what you're refining should be the eternal creation pill, right? Master Wine lamented. That's right, it is the eternal creation pill. Ling Xiao didn't hide anything and nodded. All right, refining the eternal creation pill, looks like your goal has been achieved. However, since you've killed one of Xiao Hong's sage avatars, I'm afraid he won't let this matter rest. However, he won't dare to act presumptuously on my snowy mountain. But if you leave Mount Dan Talisman, I'm afraid he will attack you. But after the matter of the 8 treasures Lotus Pond of Virtue and Virtue is over, I will ensure that you leave Mount Dan Talisman unscathed regardless of whether you succeed or not. Master Wine said seriously to Ling Xiao. Don't worry, Master Wine. I'll do my best to find Xiao Yu. Ling Xiao said solemnly. The reason why Ling Xiao had agreed to Master Wine's request was not because Master Wine had promised Ling Xiao anything. It was because Ling Xiao had seen too much deception in the God realm. He had seen too many people who were cold and indifferent to others. There were very few people like Master Wine who still had a true heart. After hearing the story of the scholar and Xiao Yu, Ling Xiao couldn't help but think of himself and Jin Sei. That was why he was willing to help Master Wine. 8 treasures Lotus Pond of Virtue? You actually want to go to the 8 treasures Lotus Merit and Virtue Pond? Bring me along, I'll go too. All of a sudden, Zhao Ritian came up to Lin Fan and said with sparkling eyes, You know about the 8 treasures Lotus Pond of Virtue? Ling Xiao glanced at Zhao Ritian and said, Of course I know. The 8 treasure Lotus Pond of Virtue and Virtue was a holy land of the Buddhist sect. It was known as the Western Paradise, and it contained the greatest secrets of the Buddhist sect. Why did you enter it? Take me with you. Zhao Ritian said eagerly. I'm going to the 8 treasures Lotus Pond of Virtue to find someone from Master Jiao. Within the 8 treasures Virtuous Pond is a powerful heart world. Only a heart force clone can enter. Furthermore, those who enter have to undergo a baptism of Buddhist light and a baptism of virtuous virtue. It's incomparably dangerous. If you die inside, even if you don't die, you'll become an idiot. Do you really want to enter? Ling Xiao explained the dangers of the 8 treasures Lotus Pond of Virtue and Virtue. I know all that you're talking about. However, I know that in the 8 treasures Lotus Pond of Virtue, there is a Buddhist treasure that contains the secrets of the heart saint. If you take me to the 8 treasures Lotus Pond of Virtue, I will take you to find the Buddhist treasure. How about that? Zhao Ritian chuckled. Buddhist treasures. How do you know that there are Buddhist treasures in the 8 treasures Lotus Pond? Ling Xiao looked at Zhao Ritian strangely. However, he guessed that it was the mysterious soul in Zhao Ritian's body that told him. I just know. And I have a way to create a heart force clone as well. Perhaps I can help you find the person you're looking for. Zhao Ritian said shamelessly. In the end, Ling Xiao could not resist Zhao Ritian's pestering and agreed to bring him to the 8 treasures Lotus Merit Pool. As for Master Jiao, he naturally didn't object. The more people who entered the 8 treasures Lotus Pond of Virtue, the higher their chances of finding Xiao Yu. Moreover, Master Jiao could tell that Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian had a good relationship. Moreover, Zhao Ritian had an aura that Master Jiao couldn't see through. The fact that he knew about the Buddhist treasure in the 8 treasures Lotus Pond of Virtue meant that Zhao Ritian wasn't as simple as he looked. If that's the case, follow me. Master Jiao led Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian into the courtyard and into a house. Although this house looked very ordinary on the outside, there was actually another world inside. It contained a strange space, and Ling Xiao could feel the powerful fluctuations of a formation in the surroundings. Buzz. A light flashed in Master Jiao's palm and a string of purple Buddhist prayer beads appeared. There were 36 purple beads on it and they looked crystal clear. A faint Buddhist light flowed around them and they were mysterious. Is this a Buddhist treasure? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he asked. That's right. The 36 beads on the string of Buddhist beads were refined from the skull of a sage king-level Buddhist monk. Furthermore, they were strung together by the meridians in his body, containing a vast amount of Buddhist energy. With this string of Buddhist prayer beads, I can open the 8 treasures lotus pond of virtue once. However, the power of this string of Buddhist prayer beads is almost exhausted. At most, I can open the 8 treasures lotus pond of virtue once or twice more. Master Jiao said slowly. The skull of a sage king-level Buddhist monk? That's really evil. Zhao Ritian looked at the string of Buddhist prayer beads in shock. However, he also understood that only a Buddhist treasure of this level could open the 8 treasures lotus pond of virtue. Otherwise, they would be dreaming if they wanted to enter the 8 treasures lotus pond of virtue while they were in Pill Talisman Mountain and not Myriad Buddha Temple. This time, I will activate the power of this string of Buddhist prayer beads. When the time comes, you will be able to enter the 8 treasures lotus pond of virtue by channeling your heart force. Master Jiao said seriously to Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. Alright. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian nodded and sat down with their legs crossed. Rumble. Master Jiao's body glowed with radiant light as he recited the scripture. His expression became benevolent and mysterious. His body glowed with light as the Buddhist beads in his palm floated up and emitted an incomparably pure and holy Buddhist light. The 36 Buddhist prayer beads rotated slowly and emitted a dazzling light. A mysterious vortex seemed to have appeared in the middle of the prayer beads. Vaguely, it seemed to be a void passage that led to an unknown space. Right now. Master Jiao's eyes flashed as he said to Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian's bodies shone brightly. In an instant, 2 powerful waves of heart force exploded and flew directly towards the center of the prayer beads. Ling Xiao felt as if his consciousness had sunk into a mysterious void. All around him were brilliant streams of light. There was no up, down, left, right, past, or future. There was also no time or space. It was as if all that was left was eternal light. In the next moment, Ling Zhao's consciousness sank into the light forever, completely disappearing. Is that the 8 treasures lotus pond of virtue? Ling Zhao's heart skipped a beat. Although most of his heart force had merged into the passage, his heart realm was incomparably mysterious. Ling Xiao still left behind a portion of his heart force. Even if that portion of his heart force disappeared into the 8 treasures lotus pond of virtue, it would only cause his heart force to be greatly damaged. It would not endanger his life. This was also the reason why Ling Xiao dared to enter the heart realm. Chapter 1924. Boom. The void trembled slightly as mysterious balls of light flowed in all directions. There seemed to be a mysterious connection between them as they emitted a faint spiritual fluctuation. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian were 2 of the golden balls of light. Ling Xiao was surrounded by a faint golden glow as he emitted an immortal fluctuation. The golden balls of light that he and Zhao Ritian transformed into were the 2 largest balls of light in the void. Ling Xiao had an epiphany in his heart. Those balls of light were probably the living beings that were about to be born in the 8 treasures lotus pond of virtue. The stronger the heart force, the stronger the balls of light that were formed naturally. A vast and boundless world appeared in front of them. There were mountains, rivers, lakes, and vast lands. Everywhere was emitting a mysterious aura. The boundary wall of this world was extremely strong. Ling Xiao could feel that even if the boundary wall of this world was not as strong as the realm of the gods, it was not far off. This world formed its own laws of the heavenly Tao, and it was suffused with an immortal Buddhist light. Its energy was incomparably pure and vast. It was a holy and soft energy that made people feel happy and at ease from the bottom of their hearts. Ling Xiao could even feel that every living being in this world had a mysterious thread on their body. Eventually, the thread gathered above the world, within a mysterious golden Buddhist light. Even though it was only for a moment, Ling Xiao could feel an extremely dangerous feeling coming from the golden Buddhist light. This was a bizarre world that was incomparably mysterious. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian followed the torrent of light balls and shot into the world, heading towards an ancient city below. Ling Xiao could vaguely see that there was a lotus pond. There were lotuses of different colors growing on it. They looked crystal clear, holy, and mysterious. All of the balls of light were flowing toward the lotus pond. Is that the birth lotus pond? Ling Xiao could not help but be moved. The ultimate land of bliss in the 8 treasures lotus pond of virtue was extremely mysterious. It was said that there was no pain in this place, only freedom and joy. If a man and a woman didn't want to have children, they would go to the birth lotus pond and invite a child back. The lotus in the birth lotus pond would give birth to all kinds of children. It was very mysterious. Of course, according to legend, the children born in the lotus pond were all eminent monks of Buddhism. To be able to invite such a child back was a great honor for every family. However, there was a limit to the number of children that could be born in the birth lotus pond each time. Only a few people with status and the purest faith could invite the children back. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian had already expected this. Their heart force was extremely strong. In terms of the strength of their heart force, Ling Xiao was even stronger than the average 9th Revolution half-saint. He was only one step away from becoming a heart saint. Even in Buddhism, such a character would be a true disciple. They would only be born in the lotus pond and would not be tainted by the aura of the mortal world and enter the cycle of reincarnation. If there were no accidents, Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian would be born in the lotus pond. Ling Xiao, I heard that the baptism of Buddha light in the 8 treasures lotus pond of virtue is very strong. Even those with evil thoughts would be converted. Don't tell me that we will be converted the moment we enter the 8 treasures lotus pond of virtue? Zhao Ritian's voice suddenly sounded in Ling Xiao's mind. Ling Xiao was shocked. They were in the process of reincarnation and Zhao Ritian was actually able to transmit his voice. This made Ling Xiao extremely shocked. Zhao Ritian's heart force was probably not much weaker than his. You can actually transmit your voice to me? Are you scared now? Although I don't know how strong the baptism of Buddha light is, with the strength of our heart force, it shouldn't be a problem. Ling Xiao said in his heart. He wasn't as capable as Zhao Ritian to transmit his heart force through the birth lotus pond of virtue into Zhao Ritian's mind. It's just a transmission. How can it stop me, Zhao Ritian? As for being scared? What a joke. Why would I be scared? However, if we were born as children, wouldn't we have to cultivate from the beginning? That's too troublesome. Zhao Ritian said with a proud smile. What do you have in mind? Ling Xiao asked. Why don't we just take over the bodies of 2 people? With my skills, it's easy for me to take over the bodies of 2 people. It would save us the trouble of cultivating from the beginning. Zhao Ritian said with a chuckle. Take over? Don't act rashly. This is the core of Buddhism. Who knows how many bodhisattvas and Buddhas are watching over this place? Even if you have an extreme emperor weapon, it won't work. Ling Xiao was shocked by Zhao Ritian's idea and quickly stopped him. He was already regretting it. Zhao Ritian was simply a troublemaker. He already had a premonition that there would be a lot of variables in this trip to the 8 treasures lotus pond of virtue. If we don't take over the bodies, how long do we have to cultivate? Zhao Ritian said with a discouraged look. Let's observe the situation first. I'll warn you again. Don't act rashly. Get ready, we're about to be born. Ling Xiao warned Zhao Ritian. Rumble. In the void, a dazzling torrent descended from the heavens and shot towards the lotus pond below. Instantly, Buddhist light shone brightly and auspicious vapors rose. Golden lotuses appeared in the void and the Tao flowers fell from the heavens. There seemed to be a mysterious chanting of scriptures. The lotus pond was located in an ancient temple. That ancient temple was majestic and majestic. At this moment, it was dyed with a pure golden color and was enveloped by endless Buddhist light. Halos of light permeated the air, making it seem even more holy and mysterious. An old monk with white hair and a purple cassock was leading the group. Behind him, there were hundreds of monks in monk robes. All of them lowered their heads and looked merciful. They were chanting scriptures at the same time. In front of the 8 treasures lotus pond of virtue, there were tens of thousands of figures kneeling down. Each of them looked excited and pious. They put their palms together and stared at the birth lotus pond in front of them. The birth lotus pond became even more mysterious. The lotuses that were just buds started to bloom slowly. In an instant, tens of thousands of rays of Buddhist light were shot out. Golden lotuses, silver lotuses, red lotuses, purple lotuses. All kinds of lotuses bloomed at the same time, competing with each other in terms of beauty. The birth lotus pond seemed to have become a mysterious place. It was like a place where Buddha was passing on scriptures. It was solemn and solemn. Chapter 1925. Every time the lotus pond appeared, it was a grand event for Jinshan Temple. At this moment, even the abbot, Master Yuan Ming, raised his head slightly, his eyes filled with anticipation. Rumble. However, at this moment, the void suddenly shook violently. A black cloud suddenly appeared in midair, and in an instant, ghostly wails and howls were heard. Ghostly faces appeared from the dark cloud, looking extremely ferocious and evil. They suddenly swallowed the balls of light. Moreover, a huge demonic shadow that was hundreds of feet tall appeared in the sky above Jinshan Temple. Then, it slammed its palm down with a terrifying momentum. This unforeseen event stunned everyone around the birth lotus pond. This is the invasion of the heavenly demons? Oh no, run! Someone exclaimed. Suddenly, the entire Jinshan Temple became extremely chaotic. The people who were originally kneeling around the birth lotus pond were all horrified. They were all about to run down the Golden Mountain Temple. The scene suddenly became extremely chaotic. Evil creature, how dare you? Yuan Ming's expression suddenly changed. His eyes widened in anger, and the golden Buddhist light around him rose. In an instant, he slammed his palm across the sky. The golden palm print was unparalleled and ferocious, heading toward the demonic light that filled the sky. Although this world was known as the Western Paradise, where there was no pain, only freedom and joy, it was often invaded by the heavenly demons. These heavenly demons were shapeless and formless. They were all formed from the evil thoughts of living beings. They existed by attaching themselves to this world. They were like tarsal bones, and there was no way to kill them all. Therefore, there were often invasions by the heavenly demons. Although they were shapeless and formless, they could devour the flesh and primordial spirit of living beings. Moreover, the balls of light that were born were their favorite. If they could really devour the balls of light of an eminent monk, they might be able to gain intelligence and advance to a higher realm. Yuan Ming also did not expect that the heavenly demons would invade the Jinshan Temple on the day of the birth of the lotus pond. After all, the Jinshan Temple had not been invaded by heavenly demons for hundreds of years. After all, the Jinshan Temple was only a medium-sized temple. Ordinary heavenly demons did not care about the Jinshan Temple. Hee, a little monk who hasn't even reached the saint realm dares to be impudent in front of this saint? You really don't know what death is. The 100-meter-tall heavenly demon's voice boomed like thunder. His blood-red eyes were filled with a cruel and bloodthirsty light. His entire body exuded a vast demonic aura as he casually slapped down with his palm. Boom! Monk Yuan Ming knew that these heavenly demons were powerful, so he used his trump card, the Great Demon Subduing Palm. The golden palm was indestructible, as though it could destroy everything. However, the heavenly demon's casual palm strike shattered the great subduing demon palm. Monk Yuan Ming shuddered violently and was sent flying. Old Monk Yuan Ming suddenly spat out a mouthful of faint golden blood. His face turned extremely pale. Host! Save the abbot. The monks of Jinshan Temple hurriedly rushed over and helped the old Monk Yuan Ming up. Their faces were filled with anger and fear. You are the heavenly demon saint. This is bad. Activate the Jinshan demon subduing array. Monk Yuan Ming's eyes were filled with disbelief as he stared at the heavenly demon. His entire body was trembling. Although Yuan Ming hadn't proven his Tao and become a saint, he was already a 9-revolution half-saint. The heavenly demon's casual attack could injure him to this extent. Coupled with the vast demonic aura, Yuan Ming immediately understood. This was a heavenly demon saint. Generally speaking, heavenly demon saints would only go to larger temples or Buddhist holy lands. They wouldn't invade a small Jinshan temple. This puzzled Yuan Ming greatly. Rumble. The old monk, Yuan Ming, struggled to his feet. Buddhist light rose from his body as he endured his heavy injuries. He formed a seal with his hands and slammed his palms into the air. Immediately, runes rose from Jinshan Temple. The monks of Jinshan Temple simultaneously activated the Buddhist power within their bodies. They put their palms together and chanted scriptures. With the support of the Buddhist light, the Jinshan demon's subduing array rose with a rumble. Feudal resistance. You want to stop me with just a mere array formation? Since I'm here today, I'll destroy this city. The heavenly demon saint smiled faintly. His eyes were filled with mockery. Rumble. He didn't even stop Yuan Ming from activating the Jinshan demon's subduing array. Instead, he waited until the array was fully activated before gently slamming his palm down. Black demonic light condensed into a huge black curtain that blotted out the sun. The evil and dark aura seemed to want all living things to fall into the cycle of reincarnation forever. Above the Jinshan temple, the Jinshan demon subduing matrix condensed into a golden mountain. It looked incomparably sturdy and exuded an aura of immortality. When the huge palm fell, the golden mountain immediately trembled violently. Then, it weakened at a speed visible to the naked eye. Yuan Ming's eyes were filled with despair. He suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood and his aura became extremely weak. Children, kill everything and devour all the descending lights. The most important thing is, find him for me. The heavenly demon saint's eyes were filled with indifference as he spoke coldly. Boom! Black demonic light gushed out from behind him. Illusory heavenly demons revealed ferocious and excited faces. They split into 2 torrents. One rushed toward the light balls in the sky, and the other rushed toward the crowd below. Although the descending lights had some spirituality and wanted to dodge the otherworldly demons, how could they be faster than the demons? They were almost instantly devoured by the otherworldly demons. After devouring a descending light orb, the extraterrestrial demon seemed to have eaten a great tonic. Its aura instantly strengthened, and even its originally illusory body began to solidify. The ball of light was formed from pure heart force. Moreover, due to the restrictions of the world's laws, before one was born, even a saint's cultivation would be completely suppressed. Therefore, when facing these extraterrestrial demons, there was nothing they could do. The crowd around Jinshan Temple was even more miserable. When the otherworldly demons pounced on them, their flesh, blood, and primordial spirits were devoured, turning them into dried corpses. Help! Chapter 1926. It's the invasion of the extraterrestrial demons? Isn't our luck a little too bad? Zhao Ritian transmitted his voice to Ling Xiao. His voice was filled with frustration and helplessness. I didn't expect it either. However, our strength has been sealed within the descending light ball. The only thing we have left is the ability to move. If this goes on, we'll be devoured by these damned extraterrestrial demons before we even get to be born. Ling Xiao also said somewhat gloomily. His and Zhao Ritian's descending light balls were moving like golden lightning. Generally speaking, the stronger one's heart force was, the faster the descending light ball would be. There were tens of thousands of descending light balls in the void. Sensing the threat of the extraterrestrial demons, they fled in all directions. However, the weaker descending light balls were in a pitiful state. Many of them were devoured by the extraterrestrial demons and turned into nourishment for them. Ling Xiao did not expect to encounter the extraterrestrial demons. This was too unlucky. If this was the case, They might not even be able to be born, let alone look for Xiao Yu. A few of the extraterritorial demons had their eyes on Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian's descending light balls. After all, their descending light balls were too eye-catching. They were the two largest descending light balls in the area. They shone with golden light and looked extremely mysterious. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian were busy running for their lives. However, as more and more extraterrestrial demons targeted them, the space for them to move was getting smaller and smaller. In the end, Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian started to panic. Ling Xiao, these evil creatures are too despicable. I'll activate the Inferno Emperor Cauldron and burn these bastards to death. Zhao Ritian was so angry that he cursed. Don't panic. The extraterrestrial demons are a small matter. If your Inferno Emperor Cauldron is exposed, it won't be as simple as the extraterrestrial demons. Perhaps all the Buddhists will come after you. Ling Xiao said with a bitter smile. Then what should we do? Are we really going to let these bastards devour our heart-force doppelgangers? This is too frustrating. Zhao Ritian was about to explode from anger. Ling Xiao was about to say something. Suddenly, his eyes flashed as he looked at the descending lotus pond below. Rumble. The Empyrean demon saint's palm strike was unstoppable. It possessed the power of extreme evil and darkness, while the Golden Mountain array became weaker and weaker. It seemed like it could be shattered by the Empyrean demon saint at any time. The celestial demon saint's face was filled with cruelty and bloodlust. Although he could easily destroy the Jinshan subduing formation, he seemed to enjoy the feeling of gradually sinking people into despair. He was slowly crushing the resistance of monk Yuan Ming and the monks of Jinshan Temple. Yuan Ming and the monks of the Golden Mountain Temple all showed great despair when they saw that the formation was about to be shattered by the celestial demon saint. Boom! At this moment, in the middle of the lotus pond, a golden lotus slowly bloomed. The 12-petaled lotus floated in the pond, radiating a dazzling light. An endless amount of Buddha's aura gushed out from the lotus. A little doll was sitting cross-legged on top of the lotus. He looked very cute and chubby. His big eyes were sparkling and translucent. However, there was a deep sense of vicissitudes in his eyes. At the same time, there was a hint of anger in his eyes. At the same time, the Buddha's aura in the surroundings surged towards the little doll. He actually began to grow at a visible rate. What was originally a newborn baby quickly grew into a 4- or 5-year-old child, then an 8- or 9-year-old child, and then a teenager. Old bald donkey world illumination, when did you enter the birth lotus pond? Damn it. The Empyrean demon saint's expression changed when he saw the doll in the lotus pond. He said in exasperation. His eyes were filled with extremely dark killing intent. Rumble. He did not even think about it. Terrifying demonic chi surged around him, and he threw a punch at the doll below. The reason why the Empyrean demon saint had ambushed the Golden Mountain Temple this time was to destroy the reincarnation of the world illuminating saint. As a result, he had always been paying attention to the ball of light, but before he knew it, the world illuminating saint's ball of light had actually landed in the lotus pond. How did you know that I reincarnated today? But how dare you covet my descending light orb? Today, I'll purge the demon. Descending into the lotus pond, the world illuminating saint instantly grew to look like he was in his 20s. He wore a moon-white monk robe and his head was smooth. His face looked valiant and handsome like jade. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent. Speaking of which, the world illumination saint's reincarnation had been destroyed by the Empyrean demon saint. The reincarnation of a Buddhist monk in the Pond of Merits was a trial. As a result, they needed to undergo a complete cycle of reincarnation and experience the various aspects of life. In the end, they would comprehend the Tao and attain immortality. Only then would it be considered a complete trial. However, in order to fend off the Empyrean demon saint this time, the world illumination saint was forced to destroy the reincarnation process. He forcefully broke through the seal and recovered his peak cultivation and strength. Swoosh! A demon fall pestle expanded in the world illumination saint's hand. It shone with scarlet gold light and was extremely tough. The World Illumination Saint grabbed the violet gold demon fall pestle and smashed it down at the Empyrean Demon Saint. The surrounding space shook violently as if it was about to completely shatter. The disturbance was extremely terrifying. Rumble. The collision between the Empyrean Demon Saint and the World Illumination Saint instantly caused a huge crack to appear in the void. Endless spatial turbulence spewed out as majestic saint auras erupted, burning the entire sky like flames. You actually gave up on reincarnation? Hee, World Illumination old monk, even if you gave up on reincarnation, you still have to die. The Empyrean Demon Saint's eyes revealed a cold smile as his attacks became even more vicious. Boom, boom, boom. The World Illumination Saint hated the Empyrean Demon Saint to the extreme. With the violet gold demon fall pestle in his hand, every strike seemed to be able to destroy the world. He was like the Buddha of destruction, and his aura was extremely terrifying. The World Illumination Saint and the Empyrean Demon Saint fought in the sky. Even many otherworldly demons were affected and were reduced to dust. Ling Xiao, this is a good chance. Let's go and be born. Zhao Ritian's eyes immediately lit up as he called out to Ling Xiao. The two's balls of light instantly turned into two resplendent beams of golden light and shot towards the lotus pond like lightning. Chapter 1927. Boom. The descending lotus pond was filled with dazzling Buddhist light and dense mist. Thousands of mysterious lotuses were growing within the pond. They were of different colors and were competing with each other in terms of beauty. They exuded a transcendent and holy aura. Ling Xiao chose the largest golden lotus, while Zhao Ritian chose a red lotus. Now that there were no descending light blobs to compete with them, they naturally chose the two most powerful lotuses in the descending lotus pond that had the densest Buddhist light. Buzz. The golden lotus and the red lotus buzzed. Instantly, dazzling rays of light shot out and the two lotuses slowly bloomed. When Ling Xiao's descending light ball entered the golden lotus, he felt as though he had entered a chaotic space. He was surrounded by warm rays of light. It was extremely comfortable, like a mother's body. Waves of powerful energy flowed from the golden lotus into Ling Xiao's body. Ling Xiao felt that his physical body was slowly forming. I need more energy to recover my peak cultivation as soon as possible. With a thought, Ling Xiao used the heaven-devouring secret technique in a single instance. A resplendent golden glow gathered around him, turning into a huge vortex of devouring. It began to devour the energy in the lotus pond wildly. Rumble. The descending lotus pond contained pure Buddhist energy. It was formed from the faith of countless Buddhist believers. It was the source of energy for the Golden Mountain Temple and had been accumulating for tens of thousands of years. When the eminent monks of Buddhism were born in the lotus pond, it was equivalent to being reincarnated in this world. Starting from an infant, they gradually grew up, comprehending the natural reincarnation and the strange process from birth to death. Only then could it be considered a complete tribulation. However, Ling Xiao did not enter the 8 treasures lotus pond of merit to undergo the tribulation. He was looking for Xiao Yu. Therefore, he could not wait until he grew up naturally and gradually recovered his cultivation. He immediately used the heaven-devouring secret skill to plunder the energy. In the descending lotus pond, boundless Buddhist energy surged and flew towards the golden lotus that Ling Xiao was born in. The golden lotus became even more crystal clear and revealed a holy and mysterious light. Boom! At the same time, the red lotus that Zhao Ritian had entered also began to tremble slightly. It also emitted a majestic devouring power, devouring the Buddhist energy in the lotus pond. Although Zhao Ritian did not possess the heaven-devouring secret skill, he had the Yen Emperor Cauldron. Activating a trace of the Yen Emperor Cauldron's power was enough for him to devour the Buddhist energy in the lotus pond without restraint. Rumble. The battle between the World Illumination Saint and the Empyrean Demon Saint was just too intense. It could be described as apocalyptic. Although the Empyrean Demon Saint had the upper hand, he was unable to suppress the World Illumination Saint immediately. Without the hindrance of the two saints, The extraterrestrial demons that filled the sky wantonly pounced on the descending light balls. Many of the weaker descending light balls became nourishment for the extraterrestrial demons. Only a portion of the stronger descending light balls broke through the layers of seals and entered the descending lotus pond. Some powerful extraterritorial demons also rushed into the birth lotus pond, wanting to devour the birth lotuses. All in all, the descending lotus pond became incomparably chaotic. Buddhist light and demonic light flashed, the void was in a mess, the earth was shaking, and everything was in a mess. The monks of the Golden Mountain Temple, led by Master Yuan Ming, were all severely injured by the Empyrean demon saint. At this moment, they could only activate the Golden Mountain Exorcism formation to protect themselves. How could they care about the descending lotus pond? It was under such circumstances that Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian were born. Buzz. The void shook violently. Dazzling golden light and red light spewed out. 2 lotuses slowly bloomed, and the mist was dense. The Buddhist light was dazzling. 2 chubby babies appeared on the 2 lotus platforms. They were Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian looked at each other, and a strange look appeared in their eyes. Anyone who saw themselves as a naked baby would not be able to remain calm. Ha! Ling Xiao, you were born later than me. Hurry up and call me Big Brother. Zhao Ritian said as he winked. However, because he was in the form of a baby, he looked very cute. Nonsense. I was the one who was born first. Zhao Ritian, I'm the Big Brother. Ling Xiao glanced at Zhao Ritian and said calmly. You're cheating. Ling Xiao, how about this? We'll devour the Buddhist energy in the descending lotus pond to recover our cultivation. In the end, whoever is the oldest will be the Big Brother. How about that? Zhao Ritian glared at Ling Xiao angrily. However, he rolled his eyes and said with a smile full of evil intentions. Sure, I'm afraid you'll cheat. Ling Xiao smiled and said non-committally. Tisk, why would I cheat? Why did you start? Bastard, how dare you trick me? Zhao Ritian laughed arrogantly. However, before he could finish his sentence, he saw Ling Xiao sitting on the lotus platform with his palms together. His body was emitting a dazzling golden light. He was already devouring the majestic Buddhist energy in the descending lotus pond. Ling Xiao's aura was also increasing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Although Zhao Ritian was a little frustrated, he quickly activated the Yen Emperor Cauldron to devour the surrounding Buddhist energy. Rumble. Blazing lightning seemed to be rising around Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. It was a shocking sight. As Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian devoured the surrounding Buddhist energy, their bodies began to grow at a speed visible to the naked eye. From infancy to 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old, it was as if a few years had passed in the blink of an eye. It looked extremely mysterious. Is this 8 treasures lotus pond of merit really a heart realm? Why is it so real? A thought suddenly flashed through Ling Xiao's mind. He could feel that although this body was formed from the lotus, it was extremely real. His flesh and bones could be seen clearly. Moreover, it was an innate Taoist body with all his meridians open. It was not tainted by the aura of the mortal world. It was many times better than his physical body. Moreover, because of Ling Xiao's strong heart force, his cultivation had already reached the 6th revolution half-saint realm. In addition to the majestic Buddhist energy in the descending lotus pond, Ling Xiao's cultivation began to recover at a speed visible to the naked eye. It did not take long for Ling Xiao to reach the peak of the 6th revolution half-saint realm. Could it be that if I continue devouring like this, I'll be able to attain the Tao Heart Saint realm here? Ling Xiao thought to himself. However, when Ling Xiao's cultivation broke through to the 6th revolution half-saint realm, he suddenly realized that he could no longer absorb any Buddhist energy. Chapter 1928. This birth lotus pond can only restore the original body's true cultivation at most? That's right. If it can continue to improve, that would be unbelievable. A hint of understanding appeared in Ling Xiao's heart. No, my body is only 8 or 9 years old. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. When he saw his own appearance, he felt a little depressed. Ling Xiao was only 8 or 9 years old. He looked like he was carved out of jade. He was chubby and his eyes were bright. With his bald head, he looked very cute. However, when Ling Xiao saw Zhao Ritian, he couldn't help but burst out laughing. "Ha! Zhao Ritian, why haven't you grown up at all? You still look like a kid?" At this moment, Zhao Ritian still looked like a chubby baby. Although he had the cultivation of a 7th revolution half-saint, his body did not grow at all. Compared to Zhao Ritian, Ling Xiao's depression was greatly alleviated. "This is so infuriating, so infuriating. What exactly was this birth lotus pond? Why can't my body grow after I've restored my peak cultivation level?" Zhao Ritian was so angry that he shouted. His face was full of depression. However, his voice was still childish and even a little slurred. Hearing it, one couldn't help but laugh. "I'm guessing that in the Advent Lotus Pond, if you first reconstruct your physical body and then restore your cultivation level, there shouldn't be a problem. However, once we restore our peak cultivation level, we can no longer absorb any Buddhist energy. Naturally, our bodies can't grow anymore." Ling Xiao said slowly. "Then why did you grow so much?" Zhao Ritian glared at him and asked. "Me? When I was restoring my cultivation level, I unconsciously absorbed some Buddhist energy to strengthen my physical body. I didn't expect my body to grow a little," Ling Xiao said with a bitter smile. He had used the heaven-devouring secret skill to absorb the Buddhist energy in the Advent Lotus Pond. Although most of the energy was used to restore his cultivation level, the Buddhist energy that entered his body still made his body grow a little. As for Zhao Ritian, he used the Flame Emperor Cauldron to absorb the Buddhist energy to restore his cultivation level. He didn't even care about the growth of his body. However, when he remembered, it was already too late. "Then what should I do? Don't tell me that it will take more than 10 years for it to grow up?" Zhao Ritian was dumbfounded. He looked at Ling Xiao and said dejectedly, "Not necessarily. The 8th-treasure lotus pond of virtue and virtue was very mysterious. Perhaps there were other methods. Let's leave this place first. If we are caught by those monks, it won't be a good thing," Ling Xiao said to Zhao Ritian. Although the invasion of the heavenly demons almost killed Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian, it was also a good thing from another perspective. It destroyed the baptism of the Buddha light and allowed them to devour the majestic Buddha energy in the birth lotus pond. It was considered a great gain. However, it was not hard to imagine how many years it would take for the Golden Mountain Temple's birth lotus pond to be reborn again after what Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian had done. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian had a guilty conscience. Naturally, they wanted to escape as soon as possible. "Good. Let's go." Zhao Ritian was feeling a little guilty. Furthermore, there were 2 sages fighting above him. If he didn't leave now, when would he? Ling Xiao carried Zhao Ritian on his shoulder and used the heaven-shrouding secret skill to conceal their auras. They turned into a ray of light and shot out of the birth lotus pond. Ling Xiao was extremely fast. He was like a golden lightning bolt. In an instant, he flew out of the birth lotus pond and shot out of the Golden Mountain Temple. Who's that?" Monk Yuan Ming's eyes flashed. He also felt a mysterious fluctuation in the birth lotus pond. A ray of golden light shot out from it. It vaguely looked like a human figure. However, Monk Yuan Ming was severely injured at the moment. He couldn't care less about what was happening in the birth lotus pond. "Abbot, is there anyone?" a Golden Mountain Temple disciple asked curiously. He didn't even see anyone. "Someone has escaped from the birth lotus pond. I don't know if it's an expert or an extraterritorial demon. If it's an extraterritorial demon, we're in big trouble." A hint of worry appeared in Yuan Ming's eyes. Rumble. The battle in the void was getting more and more intense. The extraterritorial demon saint's demonic aura was monstrous. He was extremely ferocious. Even the world illuminating saint was at a disadvantage. The world illuminating saint was beaten back by the extraterritorial saint. It seemed like he would be suppressed by the extraterritorial saint at any time. "Evil creature, how dare you?" All of a sudden, a thunderous voice exploded in the void. Boom! The void trembled violently. Divine light gathered in the sky and finally formed a golden palm print. It came down from the 9 heavens and pressed down on the extraterritorial saint. The palm print seemed to contain the aura of 3,000 gods and demons. It was eternal and immortal. It could suppress thousands of worlds. It was extremely terrifying. "Puji, you've come out of seclusion?" the extraterritorial saint exclaimed. His expression turned serious. Boom! The demonic light around him surged into the sky and turned into a black demonic blade. It swept through the void as if it could cut through the sky. It slashed towards the golden palm print. Terrifying divine light exploded. With a crisp sound, the black demonic blade exploded. The golden palm print slammed into the extraterritorial saint, sending him flying several thousand meters. The extraterritorial saint stumbled back. His aura became rather disordered. "Puji, old bald donkey, you win." The extraterritorial saint glanced at the world-illuminating saint with some reluctance. He did not dare to stay there any longer. His body exploded in an instant, turning into black light that flew into the sky. "Where do you think you're going?" The cold voice rang out. The resplendent palm print condensed in the void once again. It tore through the void in an instant and pursued the extraterritorial saint. "Thank you for saving me, senior brother." The world-illuminating saint heaved a sigh of relief. There was a hint of surprise in his eyes. He put his palms together and bowed deeply. The world within the 8-treasure lotus pond of virtue was vast and boundless. There were countless living beings and countries in it. The region where the Jinshan Temple was located was called the Tang Empire. Puji was the imperial advisor of the Tang Empire. He was also the strongest person in the region. His strength was unfathomable. The extraterritorial saint only dared to invade the Jinshan Temple because Puji had been in seclusion. He did not expect Puji to come out at this time. "It's the imperial advisor. Our Jinshan Temple is saved." Great Master Yuan Ming's eyes were filled with excitement. "Amit Ba. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.